Hey, T. Sippers. Pastor Haynes said, let us pray. Let us pray. Let us pray. Come on in. What's that song? Come in the house. Come in the house. Come in the house. What's been popping, good people? I have been out of the loop for pretty much all day today. But I'm back. Pastor Haynes 214 in the house. Thank you, 214 in the house. I thought I've been meaning to, hey, Justice T. I was supposed to do this yesterday and fell asleep. But I see, hey, Bryant, come on in. Let's spin this spiritual being. I should have followed my right. I was asleep. It wasn't nothing I could do about it. I was going to play this yesterday. And I see that everybody kind of on that, what they pastor say. But Barbie, Freddie Haynes, he ain't playing. He ain't playing. I haven't got a chance to listen to the other pastors, what they sermons or what they say or how they measure. I kind of heard one yesterday, but when I heard Pastor Haynes, doctor, I said, well, come on with it. I knew he was gonna add his flavor to it, baby, and make it do what it do. It was just a matter of time before we have to step up to the plate with this misguided Christianity. I just don't know what it is, but for the ones, they rebuke that. Okay. Well, last week, kind of when it first happened, if you've been here, I was trying to be respectful and truthful at the same time. Respectful and truthful at the same time. Even when the wife did her little step for wife orphanage intercom type of, I don't know what to call it. It was just mind blowing to me. I was still trying to be respectful, and it was and I was telling big pressure, that I was trying to find God. Where is God? Hey, Reflections with Kimberly. You remember yesterday I kept saying I was going to come back, God, I had something good for you, and fell asleep once I ate and I couldn't get up. Well, my plan was to take you to church, not church, church. We was gonna go to church, and I had Pastor Haynes ready, and then I see today several people are comparing what the pastors say and how they are conflicting. I didn't listen. We'll listen, but and then the white guy the other day who lined it up accordingly and took us to the word. I think yesterday I saw him as well, and I need to touch bases with that because I think he was challenging that if God would come back today, would he accept Donald Trump in his kingdom? I said, ah! I said, oh, that's a good one. Would he accept him into his kingdom? You know, I was trying to tell Pressure, no, we may not see eye to eye, but I have to be able to hear God in you and your message. He said you can judge a tree. You can't put nobody in their eternal salvation, but the Bible says you can judge a tree by its fruit. So when I said I was looking for God, I was checking the fruit. And if y'all remember, I couldn't process him. I'm talking about Charlie. No disrespect, but he said he didn't have empathy. He didn't like empathy. He thought it was an excuse. Oh, okay. So you think so? How can you be a believer in Christ, Jesus Christ, and you not have empathy? Isn't that one of the fruits of the Spirit? Isn't God empathy? He looked back, saw that we didn't have a chance for redemption of sin. He looked and saw. He didn't have to come. He could have said, oh, well. Right? But yet, he sacrificed himself. And you telling me you think empathy? Now, first, you tell me you're a believer in Jesus Christ, but you don't respect empathy, so you don't respect God. So that was what I was trying to say, and then when I was saying that God said, "My sheep know my voice." I don't care what they say with their mouth. I don't care. He said, "My sheep know my voice," and I just didn't hear him with them. So, you know, I had to be truthful with that. I didn't want to play with that. I just couldn't. You know, did he deserve what happened? No. But just like he wanted to be able to say what he wanted to say, how he wanted to say it, and people were supposed to just accept it because of freedom of speech. But people who don't want to acknowledge him or be honest about it, they don't have the right. People are losing their jobs, their livelihood. But you know, in my spare thinking last night, I said, you know, but all of that was still a part of the plan. I keep telling y'all, we have to stay woke. When they organize this, how do I want to call it? I don't want to call it a clan, but it is most definitely it's almost a gang. When they organized this and they came up with it, I keep trying to tell us good people that African American, any minority, was not designed to be included in making America great again. So any and everything they can do to discredit, we don't have a voice, we don't have rights. They are really about to try to strip rights. So I was waiting to see when the pastors, the real was going to step up and make some corrections here. because they sent him out to cater to the younger crowd, college kids. Thank goodness I saw quite a few of them who, was very challenging with his theology or his viewpoint, but it was designed to manipulate, to get into the young kids' heads. And that was just extremely too dangerous because they are our future. But the devil is cunning. He's a deceiver. He comes disguised. Okay? So I'm going to get started because, I can go in on this, but I kept trying to warn. And we can't take these baits because they are absolutely trying to bait us to get, how dare us not react? How dare they didn't see a outpour riots, because remember, he catered to the Christians. I showed y'all that. I think they kind of forgot that we have, we were taught to read back then. We was spiritually intelligent back then. Now, have we fallen off? Yes. Right? If it were possible, they, the very elect would be. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And so for the most part, if we are believers for real, we gonna, that ain't, no. 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 Hey, Samantha, I didn't see you. So let's go. No. Let's hear Pastor Haynes. And then I want to, let me go and start with him. Let's start with Pastor Haynes. And I definitely, remind me, Kimberly, let's hear that other man, that white guy from the other day before I go off into the comparisons with the other brothers. Let's go.
Because the sad thing is, we live in a nation.
Now, this was a part of his sermon, and I think they just pulled this part out. I need my other stand. Oh, it's in my bag. Okay, let's go.
Because the sad thing is, we live in a nation where twisted, toxic theology is poisoning the politics of this nation. Have you thought about the fact that this week in Utah, a white Christian got killed by a white Christian?
Say what, Pastor Haynes? Say that again. For the ones in the back that didn't hear you. Let's go.
The fact that this week in Utah, a white Christian got killed by a white Christian. And then the next day, HBCUs were under threat. Now, how did we get in it?
Do they get in black on black crime? Huh? Do they get into black on black crime? No? No? Well, what you looking at us for? Hello? Come on, let's go. Hey, Keisha. Hey, Janet.
White on white crime.
Okay, so this is Dallas Pastor Freddie Haynes. I'm sorry, he's a Dr. Freddie Haynes, Friendship West Baptist Church. Is it Baptist or just Friendship West? Now, this is not where my membership was, but I do have several family members, friends who attend Friendship West. Cool pastor. Very cool pastor. He's very reachable, and very fluently intelligent with the word. I think he was recommended and accepted briefly for to replace Jesse Jackson, the Rainbow. I don't remember what happened, but yeah, he is very prominent mega church in Dallas. So let me start over for the ones. Listen, y'all, come on in. Even if you in the bushes, hit the like button, double tap the face of your phone, tap into the three dots at the top of your computer, and hit the like button. Support the platform. Hi, Elizabeth. He turned it down. Yeah. But we're going to listen to him. I'm going to listen to the other Hey Long, and we're going to listen to a couple of them today. Hey, thank you, Janet. Thank you for the floating hearts. I greatly appreciate it. Let's go, Pastor Haynes. I'm going to start over because people are coming in. But you do know I'm going to stop occasionally because I have to. Okay? Let's go.
Because the sad thing is, we live in a nation where twisted, toxic theology is poisoning the politics of this nation. Have you thought about the fact that this week in Utah, a white Christian got killed
Quote unquote
by white Christians? And then the next day, HBCUs were under threat. Now, how'd we get in it?
What we doing?
I mean, that's called white on white crime. You came the wrong Sunday if you thought I'm sorry, I see y'all are real sophisticated and you look really good. I hope they warned you about me, okay? Because on this Sunday, we gonna keep it 100. On this Sunday, we gonna tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And so here they are. Here they are. In Utah. It's more of us in church than in Utah. We ain't got nothing to do with what they just did. A white Christian gets killed, murdered, not assassinated. We gonna tell the whole truth.
Now, why it can't be assassinated?
King got assassinated. Malcolm X got assassinated. Medgar X got.
Oh, hold on. I get that.
Twisted.
But I do still think he was assassinated. I think, hold on, Pastor Haynes. I think he was assassinated. I kind of do think he was assassinated. But I think he was assassinated by his own. But I'll let it go. Let's go. I do think he was assassinated, though.
Crime. You came the wrong Sunday if you thought I'm sorry, I see y'all are real sophisticated and you look really good. I hope they warned you about me, okay? Because on this Sunday, we gonna keep it 100. On this Sunday, we gonna tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And so here they are. Here they are. In Utah. It's more of us in church than in Utah. We ain't got nothing to do with what they just did. A white Christian gets killed, murdered, not assassinated. We're going to tell the whole truth today. Martin King got assassinated. Malcolm X got assassinated.
Okay, well, hold on. But in that assassination is no comparison, though. It's no comparison. So when they were trying to compare it, no, there's no comparison. He is not nothing near any of MLK, Malcolm, and none of them. So, no. But I do think it was assassination. But I think see, this is what happens to me. This is just my opinion. This is what happens when you make your master your God. When he ain't God. I think old boy thought that Trump was the biggest thing he had ever met, and there wasn't nothing he could do, and he can make things happen for him. But the minute he had to sacrifice his true Christianity is the minute he chose Trump over God. And Trump and his allies removed him. Because his true colors, the wolf in sheep clothing, the wolf revealed himself. Yeah, let's go.
Fascinated. Don't compare Kirk to King. Ain't no such comparison now. Let me hasten to say, I'm anti-political violence.
Absolutely.
Kirk should still be alive.
I agree.
I don't agree with the time with anything Kirk said. What Kirk said was dangerous.
Absolutely.
What Kirk said was racist, rooted in white supremacy, nasty, and hate-filled. But he still should be alive. He still should be playing with his kids. He still should be experiencing the love with his wife. He still should be experiencing life as he saw it. I don't want anybody, please hear me well.
So T-Sippers. So y'all remember the other day, I wish Pressure was in here, because y'all remember the other day when I was talking about in spite of, see, Pastor Haynes, what he's saying, that, yeah, I don't believe none he said. I think it's racial. I think, yeah. But in spite of, he still should be here. He still should be here. Everything he said was not of God, but he still should be here. And I say that because it's kind of like when people say, but no, but there ain't no but. You know, whatever shortcomings he have, that was between him and God. Ain't had nothing to do with you. Just like they want us to have this outcry, they don't have nothing to do with it. That's between him and God. Where his spirit goes, that's between him and God. He still should be here. I agree. Let's go, Pastor.
Nasty and hate-filled, but he still should be alive. He still should be playing with his kids. He still should be experiencing the love with his wife. He still should be experiencing life as he saw it. I don't want anybody, please hear me well, anybody to be victimized by political violence, but I'm going to keep it above.
You gonna keep it a what?
Because one of the things that gets me, and we got some politicians in here, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna come for you if you ever say this. If you ever say, America, we better than this. You lying. We ain't better than this. America was born in political violence. America committed political violence during the slave trade. America committed political violence when black bodies hung as strange fruit in old
strange fruit. Now, Pastor Haynes, I don't know if they ready for that. Ooh. Now, I've started to put strange fruit in my title, but I just didn't think the people was ready for that right now. Strange fruit. hanging from a tree. I had to pause for a minute, y'all. You know, everybody can't handle that, Pastor Haynes. Everybody can't handle that. Yeah, let's go.
To be victimized by political violence, but I'm going to keep it above. Because one of the things that gets me, and we got some politicians in here, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to come for you if you ever say this. If you ever say, America, we better than this. You lying. You lying. We ain't better than this. America was born in political violence. America committed political violence during the slave trade. America committed political violence when black bodies hung as strange fruit on southern trees. America committed political violence against the Irish, against the Italians before they became white. America committed political violence when America passed Jim and Jane Crow laws. What do you think political violence was? Political violence when they bombed and massacred Black Wall Street, when they massacred Rosewood, when they massacred whites and blacks in Wilmington, North Carolina. But what do you think political violence is? Martin being killed, that's political violence. John Kennedy being killed, political violence. Robert Kennedy being killed, political violence. And you gonna say we better than this? No, you can't fix what you won't face until you look in the mirror and say this is a violent country that has done violence to too many people. We will never get our act together. It's time to repent because if my people called by my name humble themselves and pray, turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven.
And heal the land. Woo, y'all be hearing me say we need a healing. We need a healing. Oh my God.
It's time to repent because if my people called by my name humble themselves and pray, turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, forgive their sin and heal the land.
Yes.
So now we better than this. No, we ain't. Because the sad thing is we live in a nation where twisted, toxic theology is poisoning the politics of this nation. Have you thought about the fact that this week in Utah, a white Christian got killed by a white Christian? And then the next day, HBCUs were under threat. Now, how'd we get in it? I mean, that's called white on white crime. You came the wrong Sunday if you thought I'm sorry, I see y'all are real sophisticated and you look really good. I hope they
okay, so we gonna play today. Y'all not gonna hit the like button. We gonna play today. Now, y'all had all evening yesterday. Hallelujah. Hey, Andrea, I need for y'all to hit the like button. Double tap your screen. Hit the 3 buttons at the top. Come on. I know y'all crazy. Y'all playing with me? Yeah, it was over 400 people at one point in here. And it was only 28 likes. That was insulting to me. Yeah. I would rather you go than to come in here and not hit the like button.
Got killed by a white Christians. And then the next day, HBCUs were under threat. Now, how'd we get in it? I mean, that's called white on white crime. You came the wrong Sunday if you thought I'm sorry, I see y'all are real sophisticated and you look really good. I hope they warned you about me, okay? Because on this Sunday, we gonna keep it 100. On this Sunday, we gonna tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And so here they are. Here they are. In Utah. It's more of us in church than in Utah. We ain't got nothing to do with what they just did. A white Christian gets killed, murdered, not assassinated. We're going to tell the whole truth today. Martin King got assassinated. Malcolm X got assassinated. Medgar X got assassinated. Don't compare Kirk to King. Ain't no such comparison now. Let me hasten to say, I'm anti-political violence. Kirk should still be alive. I don't agree with with anything Kirk said. What Kirk said was dangerous. What Kirk said was racist, rooted in white supremacy, nasty, and hate-filled. But he still should be alive.
And it had nothing to do with God. Let me say it again. And it had nothing to do with God. God wasn't in none of that. None of it. That was a wolf in sheep clothing, praying, PREYING.
He still should be playing with his kids. He still should be experiencing the love with his wife. He still should be experiencing life as he saw it. I don't want anybody, please hear me well, anybody to be victimized by political violence, but I'm going to keep it above. Because one of the things that gets me, and we got some politicians in here, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to come for you if you ever say this. If you ever say, America, we better than this. You lying.
And the truth ain't in you. Hey, Pamela.
America was born in political violence. America committed political violence.
Okay, Kimberly, thank you.
Trade. America committed political violence when black bodies hung as strange fruit on southern trees. America committed political violence against the Irish, against the Italians before they became white. America committed political violence when America passed Jim and Jane Crow laws. What do you think political violence was? Political violence when they bombed and massacred Black Wall Street, when they massacred Rosewood, when they massacred whites and blacks in Wilmington, North Carolina. But what do you think political violence is? Martin being killed, that's political violence. John Kennedy being killed, political violence. Robert Kennedy being killed, political violence. And you gonna say we better than this? No, you can't fix what you won't face until you look in the mirror and say this is a violent country that has done violence to too many people. We will never
Wicked ways.
Then will I hear from heaven, forgive their sin, and heal the land. Come on, we better than this. No, we ain't. Because the sad...
Hey, mouthpiece. So listen. So as I'm listening to Pastor Haynes, is this I'm being reminded. See, the issue is that we have evil in high places. So this is the time. This is the time that we, the people of Christ, have to stand solid and firm together. So he says, if my people, the deceivers are not his people. You understand? So we have to pray them down. You have to put on our armor. Everybody who is a believer in Christ have to be armored up. We can't fall for the bananas in the tailpipe. We got to put our armor on, y'all. So then is when we take upon the message at the end. If my people, because we have to rise up, stand solid, because they are trying to incite, they are trying to manipulate, and they are trying to incite. So they are trying to make us fight and unalive each other, Christians, so that they can reign. Because Maga don't include us no way. You understand? And it don't include Christianity. Yeah, I'm staring at you. Can't. God ain't in it. Now, when we didn't know no better back in the slavery, when we didn't know no better, we knew better spiritually, but we may not have understood it because we couldn't read. Well, we educated now. Where does it say what at a real slim, a shade tree? Oh, so you're a shade tree. Okay, bye. Come back another day. I'm not going to entertain this with you. This message is not for you if you don't get it. Yeah. Study yourself. So in order for us to understand what he's saying at the end, if my people, that's not for everybody who's not a child of God. Because the attack is on the children of God. Let's go.
It has done violence to too many people. We will never get our act together. It's time to repent, because if my people called by my name humble themselves
so real slim, are you a part of the if my people that are called by his name? Are you God's people? Are you God's people? Because you're coming to deflect. Yeah. Same thing. You understand? We recognize that. We ain't slow to the party. We've been here. So you're a deflection. So I would not expect for you to understand. But if you want to understand, pick up the Bible and not just read it. It says study. Okay? Ask God to forgive you, to heal you, help you understand the message so that you will be able to receive it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. You go research it. And then come back and talk to me. So come back another day, okay? Okay. Y'all say bye to a real slim shade tree. Y'all hit the like button, please. I guess he wasn't, if my people.
The mirror and say this is a violent country. It has done violence to too many people. We will never get our act together. It's time to repent, because if my people called by my name humble themselves and pray, turn from their wicked their sin and heal the land. Come on, we better than this. No, we ain't.
Okay, so let me go on. Thank you, Pastor Haynes. Thank you. Hold on. Let's go on. Now, do I just wanna mix it up, but I wanna mix it up. Now we're gonna stay with the brothers, and then we're gonna go to the other guy. But I want Kimberly. Okay, hold on. Let's switch it up. Hit the like button, please. Yeah, I sure hate that he loved Trump, but that's a dirty man. I ain't gonna even lie. Hold on. Shout out to Pastor Haynes. That's how you start off, T-sippers. Now, I think it was Roland Martin. He had a slew, but yesterday it was somebody else that had the difference. Why is the message different? And I don't know if Roland Martin, hold on, y'all. Let me get to it. Well, let me go back up to this one because I don't see it. Did you see where they threw Acosta up under the bus? Oh, no, I've been real busy today. Who threw him up under the bus? Yesterday, I saw where Cory Booker told that FBI agent, you ain't gonna be
right. Newport Missionary Baptist Church in Atlanta.
I'm concerned about all of these Negro preachers who've been, in fact, talking about that this man that was killed was the answer to Christ in the earth.
What?
Y'all ain't saying that. They having moments of silence in black churches all over the country over a man that was racist and a white supremacist. How dare you compare him to Martin Luther King? The only thing that Charlie Crist and Martin Luther King got in common is both of them was killed by a white man. After that, they got nothing else in common. In the name of Jesus, I pray that you'll perform a miracle in this country. It does not necessitate turning water into wine. We're asking you that you will shift gun control in this country. I pray that our seniors will feel safe. I want our parents to feel safe sending their kids to school and not be alarmed, fearing that there will be a school shooting like it was in Colorado on the exact same day. I pray, dear Lord, that there will be a peace that passes all understanding. I pray that you will disarm the adversary. Now, God, I pray that you will strengthen us so that we can fight in the spirit realm, that we'll be able to pull down every stronghold, that we'll be able to lean on you for areas that we do not understand. Thank you that this shift, this revival will take place not by might, not by power, but only by your spirit. And God, we're saying to you today publicly, you can use us as healing virtue for this land. Thank you, dear Lord, because you already gave us the remedy. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways, you'll hear from heaven. God, heal America today.
Amen.
Folks, Reverend Dr. Marcus Cosby, Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church in Houston.
Last week in Denver was the 47th school shooting this year. we don't lose our song and get so comfortable with the hell that's raging in our streets. We still got to be conscious that there's some things happening in this world that are trying to rob us of our song. I really despise the way that Kirk was killed last week. I despise the way he was killed. Shouldn't have gone down like that. But political violence ain't nothing new to this nation. Now, let's be clear. Let's be clear. They killed our ancestors over political violence. That was political violence right there. Knees on necks, that's political violence right there. Shooting you down for having some Skittles and a drink, that's political violence right there. Let's be clear, this ain't new.
This ain't new.
This ain't new.
Don't get, hey, Justin.
Just as concerned about Kirk, and be just as concerned about Trayvon as they were about Kirk. And
yeah.
just as concerned about my brother that just got shot last night as they were about the brother that got shot a couple days ago. And while I'm on that, can I go a little farther?
Let's go.
You and I need to be very careful. All of us need to be careful of the public positions that we take. Be very careful. Mr. Kirk said for years.
Okay, y'all. So yeah, I'm sure y'all knew I was going to have to stop on that. Because that's when I was talking about he compromised, when it came time for him to choose his character, his spirituality over continuing to do what he knew that was not of God. See, that was the devil's test right there. Yeah. He positioned it real good. And you think that, dude, this is the best job I done had. I would be a fool to give that up. You understand? And the devil is just sitting there saying, I know how to trip you up. I know how to test you. Yeah. And he took it. And when he did that, the devil said, oh, yeah, I got him. Oh, I got him. Now, although, I'm going to tell you, I got it. I know what happened. But he tested him. And he thought he was going to go all the way until he kept asking about them Epstein files and having a problem with Israel. Let's go.
You and I need to be very careful. All of us need to be careful of the public positions that we take. Be very careful. Mr. Kirk said for years that sometimes there in schools there has to be some live sacrifice to protect the Second Amendment. I'm not making it up. Some lives have to be taken.
Thank you for the flowers.
To protect the Second Amendment. Got to be careful of the positions you take. Because they might just come back and take you. I am not applauding his death. That boy should not have died. His children got to be raised without a father. His wife has to deal with living without her husband. It should not have gone down like that. But the Bible says, if you live by the sword,
well, okay, so I'm gonna have to keep it real there too. Yeah, I know we quick to say that, but is that not in the Old Testament? Is that not in the Old Testament? I need to double check that. And I may be wrong. But when it comes to stuff like that, I don't like. I think that the Old Testament is there for learning, teaching, to show how things were before Christ came to die for the remission of sin. So it's there for an example. It's there for reference. It's there for history. is there to be somewhat of a comparison. Now, I think it was like that, just like it was eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, or I mean, that used to be the case. But that's not what God, once he came and died, that's no longer, because that's no longer the case. That's my opinion. Because when we say eye for an eye, that's revenge. That's give back. That's vengeance. And once Christ came and died, he said, vengeance is mine, said the Lord. So, I understand it. I don't know what church this is. And I know that's a lot of times how we feel. But I think we have to respect the position that Christ, when he came and died, that fell off. That's just my opinion. Let's go.
Be careful of your public positions, because the Bible says you will reap what you sow.
Absolutely.
Folks, Pastor Rudy McKissick also spoke. He's a senior pastor of the Bethel Church in Jacksonville, Florida.
The news of Charlie Kirk's murder has shaken this nation. And I must say from the outset,
this is not him. I'm just using him as a backdrop.
No one deserves to be gunned down.
Use Charlie.
Violence is never the answer. And the one who pulled the trigger must be held accountable. We must also keep Charlie Kirk's wife and children lifted in our prayers, because no matter our disagreements with him, they are now living with a hole in their home and a grief in their hearts that only God can heal.
Amen.
But while we grieve, we must also be honest. You should be able to walk in sympathy over the loss of a life without having to sanitize the reality of that life. Kirk's rhetoric was often divisive, inflaming race, sowing fear, and fueling hostility. And now, in the wake of his death, what do we see? Death threats against churches, threats against HBCUs. The Department of Education, on the day after this senseless murder, cut $350 million in grant monies to HBCUs. Threats
as if we did it.
Against the very places that have always been sanctuaries for black advancement, black faith, and black freedom. If America cannot protect her classrooms and her sanctuaries, then what does that say about the soul of this nation? Even in our city, where a city council seeks to make an example of a young man potentially cutting short his future aspirations, all in an effort to further their own careers and kiss the ring of a governor. These are hate-filled times. However, this is not just about one shooting. This is about the climate we live in, the uncivil discourse that has been normalized. Our politics are poisoned. Our government is gridlocked, and our so-called leaders have refused to turn down the heat of hate in their language. When leaders speak with venom, the people listen with violence. When leaders play with fire, it is the vulnerable who get burned. And yet, in moments like this, the church must rise. Somebody ought to say amen just to that point. The church must rise. The church must rise.
Amen.
We cannot echo hate. We cannot mirror the vitriol. We must be the example of another way. We must govern our tongues with grace and govern our lives with love. And at the same time, we must still be about liberation.
Denise.
We cannot let threats silence us. We cannot let the climate marginalize us. Our ancestors built faith and freedom in the face of slavery and segregation. Surely, we can stand for liberation in the face of tweets and tirades. So today, as your bishop, I call on us to pray for the Kirk family. Let us grieve the tragedy, but let us also be clear-eyed about the times we are living in. The racism that has been unleashed, the division that has been amplified, the threats that have been aimed at our institutions, these are all reminders that the Church of the Living God has work to do. We are called to be salt and light. We are called to speak truth with courage, but also with civility. We are called to fight for liberation, not just for ourselves, but for the generations to come. Church, let us not be silent. Let us not be bitter. Let us not be hateful. Let us not be marginalized. Let us be who God called us to be. The living, breathing, liberating example of what love and justice looks like in a nation that's on fire.
Folks, Pastor Howard John Wesley, Alfred Street Baptist Church in Alexandria, Virginia, man, he really brought it home. And this clip here has gone viral.
Okay, let's go. Hey, before we got I need y'all to hit the like button. Yeah. I ain't gonna. Hey, hit the like button. Double tap the face of your screen. Yep. Or use the 3 buttons at the top right hand corner. Hit the like button. Send that like up. I need about 40 likes minimum. Come on now. It's been right 59 minutes and 19 seconds. And the likes should be up. Just tap. Ooh, these bright colors. Hi, Leah. Come on, y'all.
I am overwhelmed daily with the lies and the false narrative of white supremacy that caters to white guilt and forces me to prove my black excellence every day of my life.
Oh, my. Y'all, we finna go there? Oh, Lord.
That caters to white guilt and forces me to prove my black excellence every day of my life. Siobhan, I'm overwhelmed listening to the voices of that caters to white guilt and forces me to prove my black excellence every day of my life.
Oh, my Lord. Let's go.
Siobhan, I'm overwhelmed listening to the voices of those who think they have the singular right to define and defend what America is and determine who's allowed in this land that was built by my forefathers and my foremothers.
Okay.
I am overwhelmed with the gun violence.
Okay, it's off.
And mass shooting.
Hold on, it's off. It's saying the lights are off, so he off. Let's go.
and threats against our HBCUs that ain't had nothing to do with anything that went down this past week. I'm overwhelmed.
It was overwhelming.
Overwhelmed.
Yeah, I hear you. Is it a Dion? Yeah, but you know, I think something had to happen to bring us back to this place. And for some, this is the first. This is going to be the first time. Yeah, because they think, oh boy, is God. He can lie. He can be deceptive. He can ape. He can have a whole a child trafficking. And they think that that's okay. He can ill, no, he can steal, ill, and destroy and it's okay. Oh, they think he God. Oh, okay. Yeah.
To see that this bill allocates $75 billion to the policing and the detention of undocumented persons while cutting Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, food assistance programs, and 300,000 black women have lost their jobs under this administration. I am overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed with ICE raids, Klan rallies,
Right.
corporations.
Now, Klan rallies. Y'all do know what those 4 letters are, right? You know that making America great again.
Backing off of DEI, Supreme Court rulings. I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed with ICE raids, Klan rallies, corporations backing off of DEI, Supreme Court rulings, and presidential executive orders. I'm overwhelmed with folk who call themselves Christian because they invoke the name of Jesus and quote Bible from the Old Testament. Never live like Jesus, never love like Jesus, never talk like Jesus, never put their arms around folk like Jesus, never have any fruit of the Spirit, never try to live out the Sermon on the Mount.
Now, I know y'all know I was going to stop there. I know y'all tea sippers know when I heard the fruit of the Spirit. When I say I'm listening for God, I'm trying to see God. Where's God? I hear what they say, but where is he? Where is he? Yeah, you don't have no respect for God. You don't even have empathy. But they want us to have empathy, sympathy, and everything that he didn't have. And we do. And you know why? Because we have God. In spite of what he said, he still didn't deserve that. And the things that he said was offensive to us. But his eternal resting place is up to God. Yeah. Don't tell me you are a Christian or you believe in Jesus Christ and you full of hell. No, sir. No. That's what we had to repent from. nasty words coming out our mouth to people, being hateful, intentionally cruel with our mouth, and, being better than, switching stuff around, manipulating. And I have had to ask God to forgive me and work on myself daily. And you want me to believe that's God? Oh, I know it ain't. Because I know where I came from. I know where I have repented, and he has turned me from wickedness. So if it was wicked in me before Christ, hell, it's wicked in you. So no, I ain't falling for the banana in the tailpipe. That is not God. That ain't God. Absolutely not. Anything or anything that pulls you back from before you accepted Christ, you know good and dang well it ain't God. My sheep know my voice. That's why I kept saying my sheep know my voice. I don't hear God. Where's God? No, I ain't going. That's why I want us to be mindful, because this is the first time that we've had to face this. Like, this right here is the closest that we really have had out here for years. Are we living in the last days? Well, this right here is a wake-up call. This is the closest. So now I'm saying, okay, so they are going to manipulate the mark of the beast. So we have to be careful and mindful of what they put on us and what we put in us. What they put on us and what they put in us. Y'all better stay woke. I'm gonna move on. This intentional poison. Yeah, no, I ain't going. Let's go, y'all.
Jobs under this administration, I am overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed with ICE raids, Klan rallies, corporations backing off of DEI, Supreme Court rulings, and presidential executive orders. I'm overwhelmed with folk who call themselves Christian because they invoke the name of Jesus and quote Bible from the Old Testament, but never live like Jesus, never love like Jesus, never talk like Jesus, never put their arms around folk like Jesus, never have any fruit of the Spirit, never try to live out the Sermon on the Mount. I am overwhelmed. And I don't celebrate anyone's murder. Charlie Kirk did not deserve to be murdered. But I'm overwhelmed to see the nation's flag fly at half staff for a man who was a proud racist and spent his entire life sowing seeds of division and hatred into this land. And then these hypocrites, with selective rage, who are mad about Charlie Kirk but didn't say anything about Melissa Hortman and her husband when they were gunned down in their living room. Tell me that I ought to have compassion for the death of a man who never showed compassion or respect for my life. Y'all, there's nowhere in Bible we are told to honor evil.
Amen. You right about it.
And I know I'm going to get in trouble for this, but how you died does not redeem how you lived. Your death does not make you a hero. It does not make you one who should be honored. It does not make you one who should be respected. I can be sorry about your death, but not celebrate your life. You did not live.
For the ones in the back,
Where in
that's
the Bible,
yeah.
we are told to honor evil.
Nowhere in there.
And I know I'm going to get in trouble for this, but how you died does not redeem how you lived.
It does not. And I can give you an example.
Your death does not make you a hero. It does not make you one who should be honored. It does not make you one who should be respected. I can be sorry about your death, but not celebrate your life.
Absolutely.
You did not live. I'm overwhelmed. It's tiring being black in America. It's exhausting defending your existence everywhere you go. It's an assault on my identity to keep seeing this nonsense in our nation, and I am overwhelmed.
Folks, let's go to our panel. We got a whole lot we need to unpack. I'm Congo,
I am overwhelmed.
American University out of D.C. Renita Shannon, former Georgia State Representative out of Georgia, out of Atlanta, A. Scott Bolton, who's an attorney out of Washington, D.C., former leader of National Bar Association, PAC as well. Glad to have all three of y'all here. Scott, I'll start with you. Hell, no question. Just where do you want to go? You got what Joe Walsh had to say. He said they want a race war. This is about white Christian nationalism. You heard the black preacher's response. And we'll do this here after we do this here. We're gonna go to break. We're gonna play what Bishop William Barber had to say. Y'all get that ready. But Scott, go ahead, take it away.
Well, as I listened to Joe Walsh, a former Maga person, he got some redeeming to do himself.
Who?
But when I listened to the preachers, and I'm thinking about the first hour of your show, I kept thinking about how do we protect ourselves?
Right.
How do we protect ourselves, not just during this period of time, but how we succeed, not just survive MAGA or Trumpism. We can debate what happens after
Ooh, they
Trump,
read. Hold
but
on.
this is a real movement that believes political violence is real, and they drive that negative narrative for all the reasons the preacher said, all the reasons that your guests have said. And so my fraternity brother said he's overwhelmed. We're all overwhelmed and stressed out about being black, but I really want to put some time and thought together collectively about where we go from here and how we succeed, how we survive now and how we succeed going forward. And that's going to take all of us to have that dialogue.
Well, Renita, look, I wrote the book White Fear, but I have been talking about this in 2009. I said in 2009, this is about
time to get back on our knees like we. I agree.
Everything was there. And too many folks in mainstream white media didn't want to hear it. I was on CNN, kept talking about it, and folks were just like, okay, whatever. And then, we're going to play a little bit later. You got white nationalist Megyn Kelly sitting here whining, complaining, trying to blame Obama, saying all this stuff started with Obama, which is BS. Well, no, I'm sorry. It didn't start with Obama, but it got a heighten with Obama. But she wants to blame it on Obama as opposed to the white folks who are angry that a black person was elected president.
Absolutely. And this started long before 50 years ago. This started actually after the Civil War and black folks were freed. Listen, the trick of white supremacy is to have you feeling bad for white supremacists. I don't give a damn about Charlie Kirk. Because the reality is the values that Charlie Kirk espoused were values that had white folks sleeping every night good in this country with black folks enslaved. These are the same values that had white folks taking their children to watch lynchings on Sunday after church as a form of entertainment. These are the same values that had white folks using black babies as alligator bait. So nobody on the right is going to lecture me about how I should feel bad or what I should be feeling about a man who was a committed white supremacist. And Roland, you point out a very good point. The media is working overtime to sanitize and to soften his reputation and the things that he said and just chalk him up to some, character sort of person who just liked to debate and free speech person. And really all they are doing is just trying to flatten white supremacist logic, which is what he was espousing every day. So no, I don't give a damn about Charlie Kirk or his mama.
Oh. Well, here's the whole deal, Ome Congo. No.
Not his mama. And y'all, I mean, I can't fake the funk. I can't, because if we math tussling, I will say your mama. So I'm gonna just leave it alone. I'm just gonna go on. I'm gonna raise my finger up, and I'm gonna keep going. Let's go.
No one wants to see someone murdered. No one wants to see it done in front of a bunch of folks being live streamed.
Justin, I will be a hypocrite if I say something about her saying and his mama. I will be a hypocrite, right? So I'm just gonna raise my finger and keep it moving. She said that. I wasn't expecting it. But I will have to walk on by because she meant that.
Logic, which is what he was espousing every day. So no, I don't give a damn about Charlie Kirk or his mama.
My.
Well, here's the whole deal, Ome Congo. No one wants to see someone murdered. No one wants to see it done in front of a bunch of folks being live streamed. No one wants a wife to be widowed and 2 children not to have a father. Now, if somebody wants to reflect on his life, that's their business. If somebody doesn't want to do that, that's their business as well. Everybody has the free will to do so. But for folks on the right to say, you can't say anything, you can't criticize what he said and what he did, we're going to go after jobs.
Going after jobs.
A database of Ome Congo, perusing social media and going through every social media platforms looking for critical comments about Charlie Kirk after he was shot and killed, and saying they're going to hunt those folks down, call their jobs, get them kicked, get them fired, get them kicked out of school, have all sort of repercussions. J.D. Vance literally gave them permission to do it as well, but they claim they love free speech and they don't like cancel culture.
Yeah, absolutely. Their philosophy is basically freedom of speech for thee, but not for me. And even adding to what you said just now, Stephen Miller talking about, he's like, I
freedom
don't
of speech for thee.
We're going to figure out something under Trump to take
but
your money,
not
take your
for me.
J.D. Vance literally gave them permission to do it as well, but they claim they love free speech and they don't like cancel culture.
Yeah, absolutely. Their philosophy is basically freedom of speech for thee, but not for me. And even adding to what you said just now, Stephen Miller talking about, he's like, I don't care what it takes, whether it's RICO, we're going to figure out something under Trump to take your money, take your liberty, take everything that you have, because we're going to shut you down. And one of the challenges I have, Roland, just like you just did with Joe, like how you instantly played Charlie Kirk's, actual words. The fact that these media outlets are, and kind of going off Renita's point as well, are just letting these guys get away with what they're saying. And not only are they being silent, not only are they not challenging them, but sometimes you can hear, even with Dana Bash in that instance, you can hear them say, or, just kind of agreeing with them. And that's part of the problem as well. They played Trump's thing from Fox and Friends when he was like, oh, I don't care about bringing people together. They played that for Spencer Cox. And he said, what do you think about that, Cox? Well, Trump's angry. Then they played Steve Bannon, and what he said, well, Steve Bannon's angry. So what? So you're just going to excuse that? The way that they're giving these guys a pass, the way that nobody's bringing up the fact that Spencer Cox made a racist statement about how he thought it would hope it was somebody from another town or from another country, maybe a quote unquote illegal alien. The way that the media is giving them a pass, they are helping boost Charlie Kirk as well as give this MAGA movement a reason to continue the war that you and Wong started with this night. And that's why what we're doing here is so important, because we have to correct the record, just like those pastors are correcting the record as well. Because these guys, they do want war. They don't believe in free speech, and they never have, and they never will.
They do
but
want
the
war.
way that these journalists don't hold them accountable is one of the reasons this continues to fester in the way that it does, and they need to be called out too.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO.
Hold on, let's go. This dude, they want war. I don't, They want us to fight with them. For what? I mean, for what? That was an in-house job. Yeah, that was in-house. It was real in-house. It was really, really in-house. Yeah, I got it yesterday. It was real in-house. Hold on. Did y'all see that Megyn Kelly lady blaming Barack? Man, I don't know what about him. Got up under their skin because he was intelligent. That's why I tried to tell y'all he was about equality. They try to make it seem like he ain't do nothing. Oh, okay. Memphis is up next. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get there. Where's the guy? Okay, this one.
Caesar had placed Herod Antipas.
I'm gonna get his perspective. What would it says? What might Jesus have said about Donald Trump in the MAGA movement? Let's go. Let's entertain this before we go anywhere else.
Hey, everybody. Somebody asked me a great question a couple weeks ago. They said, if Jesus were here in the flesh today, what would he say about Donald Trump? And at first I thought, well...
Y'all get that? Y'all get that? What would he... Yeah, let's go. I haven't listened to it. I'm listening to it for the first time with y'all.
About Donald Trump. So I said something careful, like, well, we want to be careful how we talk about this. Jesus would probably have bigger fish to fry. And he might say something like, render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's. But it bothered me that I didn't have a better answer to that. So I thought about it some more, and I realized I don't have to speculate. Jesus did warn his followers directly about the same sorts of dangers that Donald Trump and his MAGA movement pose to believers today. And during his lifetime, Jesus dealt with his own Trump-like political figure. And it turns out that he had plenty to say about him. And based on how Jesus warned his followers about this leader, I'm confident that he would oppose the way that Christians have allowed Donald Trump to use them as his main power base. And he would warn Christians today to beware of the way the MAGA movement is poisoning the Christian faith. So who is this Trump-like ruler that Jesus warned his followers about? It wasn't the emperor. Caesar ruled over a huge empire, but he used local rulers to carry out his rule. And it's not Pontius Pilate, the local Roman official that Caesar placed over Judea, which
Hell
included
wolf.
Jerusalem. Jesus eventually did make his way to Jerusalem, and he died there at the hands of Pontius Pilate, but he wasn't from that area. Jesus came from Galilee, and he performed most of his early ministry in
Trump,
Galilee
another
and the
sign of the
surrounding
end.
regions.
Yep.
And Caesar had placed Herod Antipas, or Herod the Tetrarch, to rule over that region. His father, Herod the Great, had ruled over a much larger kingdom, including Judea. And Herod the Great was the Herod in the Bible who ordered the murder of all the baby boys around the time that Jesus was born, because of a prophecy that a new king of the Jews would be born. But when Herod the Great died, Caesar Augustus divided his kingdom into 4 portions and put Herod Antipas in charge of the portion that included Galilee. So that's why he was called Herod the Tetrarch, because he only ruled one of 4 portions of his father's kingdom. So Herod Antipas isn't the Herod who ordered the slaughter of the innocents, but he is the Herod who had John the Baptist beheaded. And it turns out that Jesus talked about Herod Antipas, and Jesus even met Herod just before he was crucified. So we don't have to speculate about what Jesus would say about Herod. And one of the things that Jesus said appears in the Gospel of Mark, chapter 8. It reads, "Be careful," Jesus warned them, his disciples. "Watch out for the yeast of the Pharisees and that of Herod." So what is this yeast of the Pharisees and the yeast of Herod? To understand this, we have to look at a little bit of the history of the politics of Jesus' day. Now, the reason that I want to be careful not to speculate on what Jesus might say about Donald Trump is because I have what I think is a healthy bias against injecting politics into my study of the Bible.
If you are sleeping in a position like this, you are wrecking your body and your breathing. Chronic neck pain happens when your cervical spine.
But when we understand the world Jesus lived in, it's clear that politics played a major role in the issues surrounding his ministry. And many of the things he spoke about involved his thoughts on some of the social and political divides among his fellow Jews. And of course, Galilee and Judea under Roman rule could never be called democracy, but politics happens in every human society. It just looks different depending on the system. And politics mattered in Galilee and Judea. And what we see is that Jesus did not concern himself with winning the political game of his day. And he didn't side with any of the competing factions. But he warned against the damage it does to the conscience of his followers to align themselves with some of those factions and to take on the world view of those factions. He specifically warned against aligning with Herod. Again, because of the damage that it would do to his people's conscience, the damage it would do to the gospel message. And of course, that resonates with someone like me. Donald Trump has given me, just simply as a human being and as an American, numerous reasons to oppose him. But the reason that I'm speaking out as a Christian against Trump is because the damage that he's doing to the conscience of his followers, his Christian followers, is immense. It's stunning.
Who's Christian
to
followers?
realize that without the 80% approval that Trump gets from white evangelicals, he'd be nothing politically. The reason the nation, the reason the world has a Donald Trump problem is because Christians have a Donald Trump problem. And it's a problem that Jesus understood because it's grounded in tribalism. It's grounded in our willingness to support some of the most unjust leaders in the world if those leaders promise to do their injustice on behalf of our tribe. And as a first century...
Yeah, but I know I can't, but I think we as Christians Again, if we were looking for Christ-like, he should have never, whether he said he was a Christian or not, when did we ever see Christ-like? I mean, we never. Okay, let's go.
Jew, Jesus knew all about tribal politics. The Roman Empire had kept Jesus' people under its thumb for generations, and within Jesus' tribe, they had many different responses to Roman rule. And they divided up into factions over the best way to approach life and religion and politics as Jews under Roman rule. We can learn a lot about how Jesus approached the dangers of politics by the way that he talked about these factions that he encountered. And the two factions that are most important to this discussion today are the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Now, I just want to give a word of warning about this. When I talk about these groups, I'm looking at them only through the lens of what Jesus said about them at one point in time and for a certain purpose. It's a mistake to look at the accusations that Jesus made against the Pharisees, for instance, and to make pronouncements for all time based on his critiques. Yes, he did shout things at them like, "Woe to you, Pharisees, hypocrites," but that was meant to be a stinging rebuke for that time, for a specific purpose.
How that happened?
Christians who talk about this, the Pharisees, for instance, and to make pronouncements for all time based on his critiques. Yes, he did shout things at them like, "Woe to you, Pharisees, hypocrites," but that was meant to be a stinging rebuke for that time, for a specific purpose. Christians who talk about this stuff need to be careful not to misapply those statements 2,000 years later about an entire group of people. In the same way that I was an evangelical pastor for 20 years and I'm criticizing white evangelicals, so Jesus was criticizing some of the movements of his time from within the tribe. I'm pretty careful about how I talk about white evangelicals. I say things like 80% supported Trump in the last 2 elections. But I'm careful not to paint with too broad of a brush. But if I were operating in the sort of prophetic mold that Jesus was, if I'm, for instance, standing outside the Target Center, watching a bunch of white people with crosses around their necks filing in to attend a Trump hate rally, I might shout something like, "Woe to you, white evangelicals, hypocrites." And I would hope that if someone played a video of me doing that 100 years from now, they wouldn't think I'm condemning everything about white evangelicals for all time. I would hope that they'd understand that I'm expressing some grief and some anger from within the Christian movement at a direction that these people are going, and I'm trying to wake them up. So, having said that, we'll talk about the Pharisees and Sadducees a bit here. The Pharisees and the Sadducees were both involved in governing their people in Jerusalem. But the Sadducees had more official power during the time of Jesus. The Sadducees ran the temple, and they had more votes in the Sanhedrin, that was their ruling council, than the Pharisees had. But the Pharisees wielded a lot of cultural power. They tended to have the support of the masses. So the Sadducees had to work with the Pharisees despite their differences. In like really overly simplistic terms, the Sadducees represented wealth and political power. And the political system under Rome worked pretty well for them. So they found it to be in their interests to keep the relationship with the Roman authorities on an even keel. And that leads me to one of the big cultural differences between the Sadducees and the Pharisees. Before the Romans ruled that region,
I thought
the Greeks
you
had
were
been there,
speeding
and
it
they
up for.
influenced the region with Greek culture by the New Testament written in Greek.
So we don't
the
need.
Pharisees
We done.
were
Can't hold on. No, where am I at? Hold on.
themselves with the worldliest of
Where are we going next? I was trying to see what was I'll go to Candace yesterday. Yeah, they don't want to. Trump know what happened. He absolutely know what happened. Oh, and I found somebody who broke it down. He down. I'm gonna show y'all here shortly. He broke it down. He broke it down. Candace Owens. Let's listen to her. Let's go.
And I just want to repeat for the fifth time, I love Israel. I want Israel to win. But my moral character is now being put into question.
Oh, ooh, okay.
The people that are attacking me are...
Now, before, I ain't never listened to this, y'all. Do y'all remember what I said about compromising your character? Y'all remember I said he compromised his character and his integrity for Donald Trump. He knew that Donald Trump didn't line up as a Christian, but he wanted the job.
Is now being put into question, Megan. The people that are attacking me are in a hyper-paranoid state because they're at... And I just want to repeat for the fifth time, I love Israel. I want Israel to win. But my moral character is now being put into question, Megan. The people that are attacking me are in a hyper-paranoid state because they're at war, and war tends to make things black and white. They go, okay, what would it be like if all of a sudden I'm starting to see a pattern of behavior similar to what my grandparents saw in 1930s Germany online? How would I behave? So that's like my charitable kind of overcompensation spirit. At the same time, I'm like, but it's not defensible to be dumb, right?
Guys, let's pray for our sister Candace Owens. I know they will try to silence her too, but that won't happen. By the way, she's not paranoid. Yes, I understand that she's angry. I understand that she's really upset right now. But trust me, she's aware of her state of mind. She's mentioned that several times. But Candace Owens is telling the truth. The videos that I'm coming across of Charlie Kirk speaking about Israel and Bibi Netanyahu, they're really shocking. Charlie Kirk was being pressured by these guys more than we know. I know many of us never paid attention much to what he was trying to communicate to us before he died. But there's more to this. I want you to pay close attention to this video. Candace Owens is exposing everything.
Oh,
Take a listen.
Lord, 10%.
There's one person who's been out there acting like he is a widow. You know, just saying the absolute most, tweeting first about what happened to Charlie, following it minute to minute, you know.
Okay, hold on, y'all. I've been on here for an hour and 40 minutes. I need 20 likes. I need 20 likes because my battery is low. So that means I'm going to have to hold this phone. I need 20 likes. Real quick, double tap your screen. Oh, Lord. Hit the three buttons at the top. Come on. Okay. forgot about this one too. Okay. We can go on to something else. Yeah, I'm finna start watching something else over here, y'all, till y'all get the likes up. Let me hear this. Brother, brother. I need 5 more likes. Ouch. Okay, let me bring this over here. Hey, Bitsy. Thank you. Let me bring this over here.
Win. But my moral character is now being put into question, Megan. The people that are attacking me are in a hyper-paranoid state because they're at war, and war tends to make things black and white. They go, okay, what would it be like if all of a sudden I'm starting to see a pattern of behavior similar to what my grandparents saw in 1930s Germany online? How would I behave? So that's like my charitable kind of overcompensation spirit. At the same time, I'm like, but it's not defensible to be dumb, right?
Guys, let's pray for our sister Candace Owens. I know they will try to silence her too, but that won't happen. By the way, she's not paranoid. Yes, I understand that she's angry. I understand that she's really upset right now. But trust me, she's aware of her state of mind. She's mentioned that several times. But Candace Owens is telling
Like,
the
how
truth.
did she get
The
in
videos
so
that
deep?
I'm coming across of Charlie Kirk speaking about Israel and Bibi Netanyahu,
Hatan.
they're really shocking. Charlie Kirk was being pressured by these guys more than we know. I know many of us never paid attention much to what he was trying to communicate to us before he died. But there's more to this. I want you to pay close attention to this video. Candace Owens is exposing everything. Take a listen.
There's one person who's been out there acting like he is a widow. You know, just saying the absolute most, tweeting first about what happened to Charlie, following it minute to minute, you know, and doing hits in a foreign country, right? Like making time to do hits on Fox News, 2 of them. Bibi Netanyahu who's fighting, I think, like an 84 front war with everyone, made a
Did
lot
you
of
hear
time.
about
Charlie
what
Kirk, you
happened?
would have thought
Yeah, I'm letting them.
as close
Yes,
to him as you were.
yesterday we went through that. I'm letting them weed that out. With full autopsy, because I do not want to take the bait, just in case. You know, I want to know a little more before I touch bases. We talked about it yesterday.
But I will say I don't recall Erica mentioning Bibi Netanyahu in her speech. The way he's presenting it is like he was I mean, this is just the worst loss for him, but I don't think that is the truth. In fact, I know for a fact that he is misrepresenting some things that happened there towards the end.
They saying the confession ain't real.
To what Bibi Netanyahu,
they saying a lot of this ain't real. The foreigners came to visit the guy the week before.
Bibi Netanyahu had to say on Fox News. Take a listen.
We're just heartbroken. Myself, my wife, my family, my son actually, on his 2019 visit to Israel, had lunch with him and his wife, Erica. We're shattered first as human beings because a great human being has been taken from us. A few weeks before the tragedy yesterday, I called him and I spoke to him. And
you had his phone number?
I invited him to Israel. The people on the on the extremes, the Islamists, the radical Islamists, and their union with the ultra.
I don't know, Justin. We're gonna wait to hear the details.
Speak about human rights. They speak about free speech, but they use violence to try to take down their enemies. Whether it's President Trump, who's been almost assassinated twice, or they tried to kill me here too, but they got Charlie Kirk, and it's just heartbreaking.
One thing that's surprising me is how vocal Bibi Netanyahu has been about this. He's talking as if Charlie Kirk was Israeli rather than American. Yes, I get that Charlie strongly supported Israel, but he was an American. Why would the Prime Minister of Israel be more publicly invested in this than we are? It doesn't add up. From my perspective, Netanyahu sounds defensive, even guilty, like he's talking more to covered tracks because people are beginning to suspect his country might be involved. Innocent people don't over-explain themselves. There's more to this. Let's listen to Candace Owens.
Who is they, Bibi?
If I were to die tomorrow,
Who is they?
I would like every diabetic, including you, to know this. Did you know that?
Explain themselves. There's more to this. Let's listen to Candace Owens.
Who is they, Bibi? Who is they who got Charlie Kirk? We don't have to actually speak conspiracies. I'm just wondering, because you said a lot there, but it really sounded like it was about Bibi trying to establish a narrative that we saw reinforced by a lot of people, that, Charlie kind of made it almost sound like he died for Israel. I mean, Trump's account even tweeted out a photo of Charlie and an American flag and also an Israeli flag, a bit of AI used, like this is just who Charlie was. He says Judeo-Christian values. He spoke to him 2 weeks ago. Again, you would think he was busy fighting this 97,000 front war, but no, he's letting you know that he just randomly, picks up the phone and calls Charlie Kirk and invites him to Israel? Why would Bibi do that? It seems like maybe there's a little more to the story. No, there definitely is a little bit more to the story. First and foremost, that letter he is holding up, he is severely misrepresenting. Those sentences are real, but I am calling upon Bibi Netanyahu, the dear friend to Charlie Kirk, to publish the letter's entire contents. Like, don't start with just 2 sentences. Publish the entire thing. You're holding it. I'm saying you're severely misrepresenting the contents that in May, Charlie was concerned about Israel and their influence on American politics and how they were pushing things that he felt were in conflict with his beliefs, free speech here in America. Bibi's holding it up like Charlie
There
just
is
in May
more,
said, hey, you know what? I
and
just
we
want
know
to write
who's
a love letter to
involved.
Israel. That's how it was presented. Would you guys agree? That's not how it happened.
The clip I'm about to play of Charlie Kirk will make you understand where Candace Owens is coming from and why she's asking these questions. Trust me, there's more in that letter Kirk sent to Bibi Netanyahu than they're letting on, and they won't publish everything because they know the full truth would come out. If you listen to Charlie Kirk's recent videos about Israel and Bibi Netanyahu from before his death, you'll get a clearer picture of the letter's content. There's more here than they want us to see. Watch this.
Now, regarding that phone call and that invite, that also needs to be contextualized. And I'm going to do that. But first, Skylar, can we bring in a clip of Charlie from a month ago speaking about the kind of pressure that he was under? Because I think that will also help to further contextualize this. Take a listen.
I'm an American citizen. Yes, I want Israel to win. Yes, I'm a Christian. But some of the mess, and you've seen how I've been treated, Megan, by some, not all, by some.
No, it's very irritating.
It's
been so unfair. They were coming after you after Turning Point for, among other things, that you had Dave Smith there. Dave Smith is allowed to criticize Israel. You had both sides. The Israeli side was overrepresented.
No, you're not allowed to. It's even worse than that. Again, I just want to repeat for the 5th time. I love Israel. I want Israel to win. But my moral character is now being put into question, Megan. Not my decisions. Not like, hey, are you doing this? Is it smart or is it dumb? But no, I am a bad person if I do this. And I could go, you saw it, Megan. It was trending on Twitter, thousands of tweets and text messages. And if I were to be charitable and generous, I will say the people that are attacking me are in a hyper-paranoid state because they're at war, and war tends to make things black and white, and you're a hammer looking for a nail. So I'm trying to be charitable, Megan. Literally, I'm trying to cut as much slack as I can, right? Like, okay, what would it be like if all of a sudden I'm starting to see a pattern of behavior similar to what my grandparents saw in 1930s Germany online? How would I behave? So that's like my charitable kind of overcompensation spirit. At the same time, I'm like, but it's not defensible to be dumb, right?
I hope by now you understand why Candace Owens is asking these questions, why she's searching for answers, and why she's calling out those trying to rewrite the story. Charlie Kirk wasn't blindly supporting the Israeli government or Bibi Netanyahu. He loved Israel, yes, but he was deeply concerned about how the government was acting, and he felt unfairly attacked for speaking his mind. The scrutiny he faced was intense, almost like every word was being judged, yet he tried to explain his position clearly. This is why Candace Owens is calling for the truth. And it's clear that what Charlie believed about Israel was not the same as supporting the government. But, was that enough reason to silence him? Well, Candace Owens will give us all the answers soon.
No, it's not defensible to be dumb, and he was under an increasing amount of pressure, not just people telling him, oh, well, you know, I'm upset with who you're inviting, but flat out telling him that he was not allowed to invite certain people to his events. They were threatening to pull out money. Charlie was getting a lot of really nasty
Blackmail
text messages, and many of them pertaining to Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, but Tucker Carlson was really the focus when it came to America Fest. How could Charlie allow these debates about Israel to take place? How could he allow Dave Smith, who, by the way, is Jewish, how could how could Charlie allow this other position to meet the stage? Because obviously when people start to hear the debates, what Dave Smith is saying sounds so rational, but it was up to Charlie to not allow those things to happen.
I pray that Candace Owens gets to the bottom of this, and I pray that she stays safe.
Okay, hold on. Let me find this. Hold on, y'all. I don't know if it's where it's at. Yeah, let's send something that got weird. Hold on.
Jasmine Crawford.
No. Hold on. Let me see where it's at. You said Tucker Carlson. Okay.
Let's get right to it. We had 30 minutes with Tucker Carlson. Tucker, come on out here.
So they saw this.
So Tucker, welcome.
It's nice to see you, Charlie.
In the interest of time, let's get to the boring stuff first.
Okay.
Do you have any opinion on the Epstein situation?
You know, I'll be honest, I'm with Ben Shapiro. I think we know enough. We don't need to know anymore. I trust the government. I think Fox News had a piece by Hugh Hewitt today saying only crazy people who have barren personal lives are unhappy enough to concoct these like insane conspiracy theories that maybe Jeffrey Epstein was up to no good. So I'm happy with that. No, I mean, I'm just the point of electing Trump, and it's a real point. And by the way, I think he can make good on it, but is that the two parties are in alignment in a very sinister way with each other on the big issues. You don't really get a choice. You vote for Lindsey Graham. How is it really different from voting for a Democratic member of the Senate? It isn't. And Trump is the option to the two-party megalith. And this last week, the decision that the Attorney General made, I don't think out of malice, I think out of incompetence, gives the impression that Trump is in on it. And that's a terrible thing. It's very discouraging for his voters, including me, someone who campaigned for him. I don't think Trump is in on it, by the way, just
what?
This is a decision that Pam Bondi made, but I think they need to fix it right away.
So here in the audience, raise your hand if this matters a lot to you. Raise your hand. So Tucker, for those on podcasting, some people are raising like 2 hands.
I'm with you, baby.
What? So Tucker, talk to me as if I'm like in 4th grade. What? Because the Washington Press Corps did ask no questions about it this day. They had 10 questions with President Trump, and they didn't ask once about this. So they asked about like Brazilian tariffs, like really random stuff. What? Explain why the base cares so much about this.
So Jeffrey Epstein was a math teacher at the Dalton School in New York before he got a college degree. He was hired by a guy called Donald Barr, who was the headmaster of Dalton, whose son amazingly later became Attorney General of the United States twice, and was the guy who Bill Barr, who first signed off on the ludicrous idea that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself in prison after 36 days after like telling his lawyer that he was going to get out in a week. And this guy without a college degree and no kind of work history wound up making billions of dollars from no obvious source whatsoever. jetting around the world with the most famous people in the world and having this incredibly weird, exotic sex life that over time it became clear was a blackmail scheme designed to entrap the world's most powerful people in compromising positions and use the information against them to get them to do the will of whoever's running this blackmail scheme. So this, I think, became pretty obvious to everybody, except for the National Press Corps, that just did not want to talk about it. Epstein dies. There's no investigation into it. Donald Barr's son, who's then Attorney General, tells us, no, he killed himself, really, but all the cameras were broken. And so this is sort of boiled beneath the surface for, anyone who's interested at all in, like, what was Epstein, digs in a little bit and finds out to this day, so we're now, 6 years after his murder, we don't know where the money came from. We still don't know where the money came from.
And can I interrupt for a second?
Yeah.
It wasn't just millions. He was living as if he was worth $10 billion. We're
See,
talking about
so he was representing Trump, but he was getting very deep. Okay. Let's go. Because, yeah, if we don't think that Bibi, if Israel, foreign countries are not are not funneling money to Epstein, I'll wait.
estate.
He had the largest private residence in Manhattan.
So the magnitude of wealth, I hope you understand, this was not like couple $100 million. He was living like he was he was a co-founder of Meta.
No, but right out in the open. And everybody in famous person world was rolling through the house for dinner. And most of them, I don't think, did anything wrong.
Like George Stephanopoulos.
Exactly. I mean, I know George. I disagree with him and everything. I don't think he's a sex freak. I think he was just invited over for dinner with this guy, and everyone else is, the prime minister of Israel is living there, Ehud Barak. And, lots of people are there who aren't bad people. They're just, they know Jeffrey Epstein. But then he winds up indicted again, comes back from France, gets indicted again, and famously dies in federal lockup in Manhattan. And it's very obvious from the beginning that this is not a suicide. And then the medical examiner's like, no, he was strangled to death. So all of this information's on the internet.
Hold on. Hit the like button, y'all.
You're not stoned. It's just
good. It's on the internet. Everybody who cares to know knows it. They're not conspiracy theorists. They're not mentally ill. And Pam Bondi knows it, and she's talked about it a lot. And she goes on Fox, and she's like, actually, it's all true. And we've got thousands of videos of underage girls being abused. And I have the client list on my desk, and I'm going to release all of this.
They have thousands.
4 days ago, she comes out with an official statement from the Department of Justice saying, actually, no, he did kill himself. We know that for a fact. And here's an edited video from an irrelevant angle that proves it, even though, of course, it does not at all prove it. And we have no evidence that he hurt anybody. We're not indicting anyone. And his former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell's in jail, and that's enough. And he's dead, and he was a natural death, and shut up, conspiracy theorists. And people who voted for Trump, not the left, Trump voters rise up on the internet in full revolt. And not just on Twitter, where there are some wackos, to be honest, and me, non-wackos too, but normal people, 65-year-old Trump voters who were like, I don't believe that aliens are running the government or anything, but you're lying to me. And not only are you lying to me, you're patronizing me and calling me names when I ask questions. You're acting like the freaking liberals do. When they don't want to answer a question, they just call you a racist and move on. No, I voted for you because I wanted you to respect me as a citizen and pay me the compliment of treating me like an adult, and you're not. So I do think I know something about it. I do think that most people in the Trump administration, including the president, didn't realize that they were stepping into this. I think a lot of people at DOJ, including Dan Bongino, who I consider a decent man, a man of integrity.
He might resign over this.
He's threatening to right now. I think they kind of got blindsided by this. I think it was, I know it was Pam Bondi who issued this statement. And I don't think Pam Bondi's a bad person. I don't think she's covering up for Jeffrey Epstein. Here's what I know to be true, since you asked. They don't have any information on Jeffrey Epstein's sex crimes, actually. And they never have had any. Because in 2007, under the Bush administration, when he was indicted and the search warrant was issued, if you read the search warrant, which I think is online and you can read it, it's written in such a way not to reveal information about Jeffrey Epstein, but to hide it, to protect Jeffrey Epstein. he was being protected then, and so they didn't gather the information. I've never had custody of information showing who was having sex with these underage girls as part of this blackmail deal. Like, I think that's the actual truth. So the real scandal here is who he was working for and where the money came from. That's the actual scandal, and no one will say anything about it because the answer
was it American intelligence?
No,
Was it Saudi
it was not.
intelligence? Was it British intelligence?
It was Israeli intelligence.
Israel.
Everyone's embarrassed to say that because you're not allowed to say that or something because you're a hater, but you're not a hater at all. You can think Israel's a great country that deserves.
Here we go again. Hey, Vicky, I didn't see you. Here go Israel again. And that Bibi guy is awfully involved. He calling folk on their phone. He threatening folk. He calling folk. He getting money. Taxpayers' money. Oh, y'all gonna be... Ooh, I wish I had enough time.
He was being protected then, and so they didn't gather the information. I've never had custody of information showing who was having sex with these underage girls as part of this blackmail deal. Like, I think that's the actual truth. So the real scandal here is who he was working for and where the money came from. That's the actual scandal, and no one will say anything about it because the answer
was it American intelligence?
No,
Was it Saudi
it was not.
intelligence? Was it British intelligence?
It was Israeli intelligence. And everyone's embarrassed to say that because you're not allowed to say that or something because you're a hater, but you're not a hater at all. You can think Israel's a great country that deserves our support, as I do.
My best memories are in Israel.
Yeah, it's great. I'm taking my family on vacation there, but it's still a foreign country, and it's a fair question to ask. Were you running a blackmail scheme in our country?
Blackmail.
And I think the answer is yes. So they were asked, and they're like, we're not going to tell you. And it's like, well, so why are we sending you all this money every year if you won't answer a simple question? If you're actually running a criminal enterprise in our country, which it seems like they were, then you should answer the question, and no American citizen should be embarrassed to ask that. It doesn't make you a hater or a wacko. If the former Israeli prime minister is living in his house,
Epstein was protected.
and if his
Epstein probably is in Israel.
daughter of a Mossad agent, which she was, why is it crazy to ask that question? It's not crazy. Actually, it's very obvious. And no one should be embarrassed to ask that. No one should be made to feel like a hater for asking that. Asking a question about a foreign country does not make you a bigot at all. And in fact, the effect of not asking that question, the rest of us are all kind of embarrassed and like, oh, can you really say that? What that right there causes hatred and creepiness. And everyone feels like it has to be conducted in secret. When you're not allowed to be straightforward about something,
and to get you killed.
The conversation and the thoughts tend to become diseased. The same is true of sex, by the way.
I've talked about Patriot Mobile's commitment to faith, family, and freedom.
Okay,
Have you made
hold
the
on.
switch yet? Support your values with your cell phone. Is the fact he was an Israeli intelligence asset, is that public knowledge now, or is that
It's
inferred?
obvious to anybody. Well, Israel has not confirmed that and won't, which I think is amazing.
And they've been asked.
They've been asked directly.
And they say what?
We're not answering that question.
Okay. So not no.
So my point would be, look, then you're not getting any funding. You're not getting $1 chance. It's our country, and if you're running a criminal enterprise on our soil, like countries do dumb things. We've done a lot of dumb things. But you begin by admitting it and saying, I'm sorry we did that. We won't do it again. That's fine.
And do you think our government was involved at all?
See, this is when he started. So this is when he started asking the questions. Oh, no. I don't. No, you're not. I don't know that. So no. So this is when he started asking the questions. This is when he started, and so it was because of Mr. Carlton here. Okay? And this is when he started asking questions and then questioning Donald Trump, his big daddy. Mm-hmm.
And overlapping, and I don't know the answer. Was it?
Well, I think I do, but everyone lies about everything, so I could be completely wrong. But here's what I believe to be true.
Let's go.
There's been enough. I think this is maybe the one crime the CIA is not responsible for, which is kind of amazing. There's such a long list.
I don't know, Tucker. You gotta win me over on that one.
But what's kind of crazy is that even to say that, I mean, it's probably public. My dad worked with the CIA. It's like, I'm from the United States. I love this country passionately. I have no problem admitting the truth, which is that the CIA, which has a lot of probably decent people who work there, including, as I already admitted, some I know and love, has done horrible things. That doesn't make me anti-American or a bigot or something. It's okay to criticize government agencies when they do bad things. And if they're foreign government agencies, why in the world would that be not allowed to say there are tons of things Mossad does that I agree with? There are some things I disagree with, including running criminal enterprises in my country. Like, no, you're not allowed to do that. Spying on us, not allowed to do that. Period. And I don't know why no one feels free to say it. There's not one American politician who will say that. And the effect of that is to make everybody crazy. And also, by the way, very anti-Israel. Like, if you want to make people hate something, tell them they can't talk about it. Call them names when they ask honest questions about it. That's what's happening right now. And you often hear people say, like, what's all this anti-Israel sentiment going on the internet? And there's a lot of it. In fact, way too much for me. I'll just be honest.
And the Jew hate is out of control. I hate that stuff.
I don't like it. I'm a Christian. I don't think that you should assess people on the basis of the group they belong to.
I agree.
Every person has a soul. Every person's created by God. You should assess each person on the basis of that person.
On their merits.
God knows every hair on your head, we're told. So each person is distinct and unique. You're not a faceless cog. You're not a member of a group, a herd. You're a human being created in the image of the Creator. So I just don't like that whole way of thinking, but it's everywhere all of a sudden, and you have to ask, why is it everywhere? Well, one of the reasons, probably a lot of reasons, but one is because anybody who asks obvious questions like, hey, were you running a sexual blackmail scheme in my country? Shut up, says Ben Shapiro, you're an anti-Semite. Well, no, I'm not. Why is it not a fair question? There's tons of evidence this is happening. Like, are you joking? You're not going to shout me down, by the way. At this
Epstein.
Point. I spent 4 years.
Now, where is he? Now, how we know we really gone?
For asking, I thought, pretty reasonable questions. I have always felt very moderate. I'm not a hater at all. And I'm not going to become one. And I don't think my questions are insane. They may be stupid. But if they're stupid, then just speak slowly so I can understand as you answer them. They're not crazy. And if they are, tell me how. But dismissing me out of hand by attacking my motive is not going to work. And telling me that my question is an insult to the children who died in Texas in a flood is an outrageous response. You are, anyway, sorry. And I say that with love, but I voted against that kind of crap. It's not just the argument, it's the style of argument. You are not allowed to dismiss my questions as a United States citizen with a wave of the hand and an attack on my character. You get the middle finger in the face from me for doing that until you stop doing it. So I think we have an absolute right to demand sensible answers. And the first question is, who the hell was Jeffrey Epstein working for? Why did Leon Black pay him $100 and something million for tax advice?
Hey, Samantha.
Don't stop lying to me. It's not tax advice. I have an accountant. It's not that expensive. And like, what was this? And anyway, last thing I'll say, just as you're following along, my understanding as of 6:45 p.m. Friday is that this really isn't about sex as much as it's about the international and financial intel questions. That's what it's about. Those are we know Jeffrey Epstein was a sex freak. We know a lot of women were hurt. But what we don't know is why. And so I think it's fair, or at least I plan to going forward over the next week, as we're going to dig into this pretty hard, is to press those questions. Like, big picture, what was this about?
What are the questions you're going to ask?
What was this? How do you go from being, a math teacher at Dalton to having your own private island in the largest house in Manhattan?
And so who is Les Wexner?
Les Wexner.
He's alive.
See the questions he's asking?
Is the former CEO of a company called The Limited, which is a massive clothing
Victoria's Secret or something, right?
Correct. Abercrombie & Fitch, I think, and a bunch of different.
And he lives in Ohio.
Clothing companies. Right? The richest person in Ohio. A lot of super.
Didn't that bitch guy? Didn't he get arrested too?
Financing a lot of Epstein's life, and he's never been interviewed by the feds ever. And so that's like right there. Who made the decision not to interview the guy who's bankrolling the whole thing? You arrest Jeffrey Epstein, but it's like, well, where did Jeffrey Epstein get the plane? I'm 56. I've worked 6 days a week my whole life. I fly on Southwest. Like, how do you get a plane?
He had multiple.
What are you even talking? Like, where did that come from?
He had multiple Gulfstreams. Multiple.
Right, okay.
Which each one is 30, 40, 50 million.
I'm not saying he didn't deserve the plane. I'm just saying, what did he do to get the plane?
And can I go a step further? There are no trades.
Yeah, didn't he get arrested?
At any of the trading desks. Right. So this guy allegedly was a wealth manager.
Get ready, players. Welcome to the Ultimate Cyber Showdown. Each week in October represents a new level to explore, focusing on...
This guy allegedly was a wealth manager. Someone who he's Brett Weinstein's brother, Eric Weinstein. He's right on some stuff, disagree on other, but he had a really good point. He said he sat down with Epstein once. He said within 5 minutes, he said this guy was a total fraud. This guy just he was like weird and crass and talked about weird sex stuff, but he wasn't deep, like at all. Right. And like, because Weinstein, you can't call him dumb. He would ask questions about financial instrumentation and derivatives, and Epstein knew nothing about it. So here's a guy that we have no traits to his name. Anyone who met him never was like, this is like a brilliant guy. And yet he ends up with a lifestyle, you would think that he's worth $50 billion.
Well, you knew he wasn't brilliant because he kept sending money to Harvard to put his name on things. So what you have there is a very recognizable kind of social insecurity, status anxiety that comes from inadequate people who want to convince you that they're like really impressive and earned what they have. And it's a very common tick in our ruling class now, most of whom are deeply mediocre, a lot of whom have gotten rich in businesses that are basically dishonorable, lending money at exorbitant rates. And they are trying to like let you know that they're legit. And so that's just a tell for me as a person that Epstein was a guy who didn't make his money the old-fashioned way by doing something innovative and clever and working hard. He did it by means and in the service of something that he didn't want to admit publicly. So anyway, those are the questions that I would ask. And my strong sense is that it is dawning on the administration, thank heaven, that this is a huge problem. I think there were people, there are always going to be people like Ben Shapiro or Hugh Hewitt at Fox News who were like, oh, it's just, who cares about this guy? He's already, like when Ben Shapiro was telling us, who cares who killed Kennedy? That was a long time ago. Okay. He was the elected president of the United States. Fair to ask. But there are some people, I think, administration who are like, yeah, really, Jeffrey Epstein, like, is that the biggest thing going on in the world right now? And I think they sort of missed, not all.
Look at him. Look at him. He deep in thought.
For everything. It's like, how do all these people get so rich in the first place? Not just Jeffrey Epstein, but like, how did Bill Ackman get so rich? Is he really like a market genius? Is he? Is he like $9 billion or just implants a chip on the fentanyl race? So I'm against it if he said the Jews or the blacks.
Hold on. I want to do people know that this man over here, that call him what, Bibi? That ain't even his name. That ain't, he not even, that, see, yeah, I'm gonna have to tackle that. I haven't seen that one. Let me get over here because once yesterday, when I was trying to recoup from being so tired, so drained, and so beat down, I was over here looking at how deeply tied these political, now I'm just gonna show y'all that what we think Israel biblically, they ain't even talking about that Israel. They don't, these people are frauds. Let me say that. Can I just say that? This scam is bigger than we could ever imagine. It is huge. This human trafficking, it's huge. It is indeed huge.
Okay, everybody, we're here at the Bitcoin.com studio. That is the Bitcoin.com studio. So it's been say, a week or two, probably, since we've covered the Epstein situation. We were covering a lot of other stories. And the media,
Can y'all hear?
they were waiting for this. You see, Congress, they brought in a lot of the Epstein victims, and it's undoubtedly
Oh,
terrible
no. Okay. Oh, I don't remember
what Epstein did to the underage high school girls and groomed them and sexually abused them. They're bringing in all of these Epstein
I don't know if this.
Interestingly, one of them is a man.
A man.
That's breaking news, at least to me.
Oh yeah, I'm not ready for this one. I forgot about this. This not the one. They thought it was just only girls. Hold on.
Studio, that is the Bitcoin.
Yeah, but I'm not ready for this one yet. I'm sorry. I'm not ready for this one yet. I'm trying to stay with this one with the Israel stuff. Israel. Yeah, hold on. Let me get back. I'm sorry. Yeah. A boy. Oh yeah, it got deep yesterday. It got before. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to get to the guy who broke it down for me. I'm trying to get to the guy who broke it down. Oh, there you go. I just saw it. Where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Okay, listen. I want y'all to listen.
Kirk, it is plain as day. Israel killed Charlie Kirk. It is plain as day. I don't care what your favorite influencer says. I don't care what Kash Patel, that freaking idiot, says. Israel killed him. It just released. Did y'all see the plane? The plane got the.
Okay, hold on. Let me take it. I want y'all to see the guy.
Israel killed Charlie Kirk. It is plain as day. I don't care what your favorite influencer says. I don't care what Kash Patel, that freaking idiot, says. Israel killed him. It just released. Did y'all see the plane? The plane got the whole info about the plane leaving.
Yep.
It leaves the airport that's 5 miles away for a few minutes, turns off all of its locations, which is illegal, for 45 minutes, and then turns them back on and it's heading the other direction. It just got released. That plane, guess who owned it? A big-time rich Jewish donor.
Oh yeah, where were you? We saw that day. Listen, they not gonna say it, Samantha. Me and the tea sipper spotted that first. Nobody was talking about it until days later. I broke that down that same day. And pressure was trying to make me go to the other side. And I was like, no. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. Let's go.
All about this whole Charlie Kirk thing and denying it hard. Benjamin Netanyahu. Kind of sounds like he's nervous, like he understands. Oh, people are figuring this out. He's even claimed, no, we didn't do this. It was the Islamists, the extremists. Just like he did 9/11. Guess who did 9/11? Benjamin Netanyahu. That's literally a fact. If you haven't got that far down the rabbit hole, I'm sorry, like you're lost. This is not a hard case. And I don't know whether or not the shooter is the guy that they were picturing everywhere, but I will say this. I had several people commenting towards me saying that the rifle was in his pants and that he took the scope off and put it down his pants also, and then he had a screwdriver and screwed the scope back on.
Have y'all heard about the old cat that got arrested and let go? He was a decoy, they say. And he got arrested. He got arrested for not trafficking, but child porn something. So he was a pedo. The old guy that they was dragging, he is a pedo. I don't even think he's from Utah. They said it was 2 decoys. Oh, okay.
Once he got on top of the building. Are you an idiot? Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but have you ever shot a gun and taken the scope off and put it back on and then seen where the gun would shoot? It's nowhere close. No, you're not hitting a shot at 140 yards straight to the jugular with a gun that's had the scope pulled off and put back on and you just expect it to be on there. No. I don't know whether he was a shooter or not, but I can tell you this. The gun that they found, it was planted and that was not the gun. The scope was mounted too far back to even shoot it. You'd blow your eye whenever you shot it. And why did he just conveniently put it back into a box? Like, oh, here you go. Guys, this is not some trans extremist individual. This was a professional shooter, and yes, it was a professional shooter. 140 yards is a long way, and whenever your adrenaline starts pumping, have you ever shot a deer from that far? You start shaking because you get so excited. I would like to imagine that if this was a one-time shooter who was about to take their first human life, their adrenaline's pumping, they're nervous, they're shaking. This was not just some individual. This was a professional.
So Jimmy Kimmel show he done lost his life.
That's what was going on. And even Candace Owens said that on her show. He was beginning to come around and realize these things. And he was afraid that Israel would kill him, and they did. It's a simple answer, and that's what happened. Israel killed Charlie Kirk.
There we go. Hold on.
Plain as day.
Yeah, so I'm just seeing Jimmy Kimmel has lost his life because of his comment. Wow, hold on. I just don't get what makes him so special. But it's a mega thing, see. It's a mega thing. It's the black. I mean, He feel like, did I just lose? Oh my God, what happened? Okay. Hold on. Oh. Hold on. Yeah, I'm trying to get to where a lot of people are losing their job. Yep. I mean, and these, I don't know if he was a Trump supporter, but I don't know what made them think that nobody can talk about Charlie. Cannot tell the truth about.
They call themselves Netanyahu, but it's just a stolen name, a Hebrew mask plastered over a European exile's face.
What? Bibi? He a fraud? Let me sit up. He a whole fraud? That ain't even his name? Huh? Another creative channel was flagged because of a subscriber's comment. What did the subscribers say? Y'all see why I monitor? I don't trust them people. I don't trust them. They be doing that stuff on purpose. They be doing it on purpose. Girl, they tripping. Who tripping? Y'all remember when I told y'all that Trump real last name ain't Trump? Y'all remember I told y'all that? Do y'all remember when I told y'all that Trump real last name is not Trump? It's some dump it or something. Yeah. Okay. Just remember that his last name ain't Trump. And he's an immigrant. Okay, let's go.
They call themselves Netanyahu, but it's just a stolen name, a Hebrew mask plastered over a European exile's face. His real name was Milikowski, born of Ashkenazi lineage from Poland. Benjamin Netanyahu has neither the blood, nor the land, nor the language of those he claims to represent. His Judaism is not that of the shepherds of Hebron, nor the poets of Jaffa. It is the Judaism of a colonizer from elsewhere who put on the prophet's robe to hide the scent of ashes.
Yeah, I just told him that. Vixen, baby. I just told him.
Military ideological machine, a machine of.
Hold on. Let's start over. Y'all hear this about the machine? I want y'all to hear them say that machine, because in the music industry, what do they say is behind? You know, the trafficking, like Diddy, make you do something embarrassing for leverage or blackmail. All of this is Diddy. Y'all do know this. You posted what earlier?
They call themselves Netanyahu, but it's just a stolen name, a Hebrew mask plastered over a European exile's face. His real name was Milikowski, born of Ashkenazi lineage from Poland. Benjamin Netanyahu has neither the blood, nor the land, nor the language of those he claims to represent. His Judaism is not that of the shepherds of Hebron, nor the poets.
Not biblical. This is why when they say that they Christians and they're not, it's fake. So he's not even the Israelites or Israel from the Bible. See how the devil's playing? He from Poland.
Of a colonizer from elsewhere who put on the prophet's robe to hide the scent of ashes. Because what he represents today is not a people, it is a machine, a political, military, ideological machine, a machine of steel and contempt. Netanyahu didn't grow up on the banks of the Jordan. He grew up in the salons of New York's conservative elite and the ultra-nationalist sermons of his father, Ben Zion, the hardline Zionist historian. He never spoke Arabic. He never shared bread with a Palestinian. He never had to bury a child beneath the rubble of an Israeli airstrike. He is not from this land. He took it. And yet he decides. He demolishes.
What they're trying to do.
Today, under his rule, Gaza is a graveyard for children. Rafah, a field of ruins. Jenin, a ghost town. They call themselves Netanyahu, but it's just a stolen name, a Hebrew mask plastered over a European exile's face. His real name was Milikowski, born of Ashkenazi lineage from Poland. Benjamin Netanyahu has neither the blood, nor the land, nor the language of those he claims to represent. His Judaism is not that of the shepherds of Hebron, nor the poets of Jaffa. It is the Judaism of a colonizer from elsewhere who put on the prophet's robe to hide the scent of ashes. Because what he represents today is not a people, it is a machine, a political, military, ideological machine, a machine of steel and contempt. Netanyahu didn't grow up on the banks of the Jordan. He grew up in the salons of New York's conservative elite and the ultra-nationalist sermons of his father, Ben Zion, the hardline Zionist historian. He never spoke Arabic. He never shared bread with a Palestinian. He never had to bury a child beneath the rubble of an Israeli airstrike. He is not from this land. He took it. And yet he decides. He demolishes.
He don't even speak the language.
Today, under his rule,
Yeah.
Gaza is a graveyard.
Oh, I know.
Rafah, a field of ruins. Jenin, a
I know, Jared. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I told the T-Tippers that wasn't his last name. I didn't want her. Hold on. Have you seen the ruins of Gaza? I saw something. Hold on. Let me switch this over. Fake and fraud. Thieves. Cons. So when you hear Israel, it Hold on.
You made a claim that all Jews are European.
I just want to clarify so you know what I mean. The so-called Jew who is controlling the state of Israel, those are Europeans. I'm essentially stating that they are not a Semitic people who originate in the Middle East. They're European, just like your current prime minister who's changed his name from something sounding more Polish, more Eastern European. And if you track the history of a lot of people in that administration, they all changed their names to sound more Hebrew. Is that true? Is it true?
Absolutely.
It is true, exactly, because they're Europeans masquerading.
Masquerading.
All Jews are European.
I just want to clarify so you know what I mean. The so-called Jew who is controlling the state of Israel, those are Europeans. I'm essentially stating that they are not a Semitic people who originate in the Middle East. They're European, just like your current prime minister who's changed his name from something sounding more Polish, more Eastern European. And if you track the history of a lot of people in that administration, they all changed their names to sound more Hebrew. Is that true? Is it true?
Absolutely.
It is true, exactly, because they're Europeans masquerading.
They're not even paying attention. They have no earthly idea. Talking about a false prophet. I mean, what? I'm talking about okay, and this is who what? Now what? Now what? What are we doing, people? Hold on. What are we doing? Oh, yeah, before I do that one, but hold on. So, these people over here kissing the wall and all of that. Okay, hold on.
You've been doing unbelievable investigative reporting. What have you learned?
Well, following my September 12th report, which provided background about the pressure, the mounting pressure that Charlie Kirk was under from pro-Israel forces, from Netanyahu's cutouts in the United States, I gathered more details. The piece, it hit like a sledgehammer. It really caused a lot of, I think it spoke for a lot of people, particularly within the conservative movement, which is changing among the youth on the question of Israel. And more people started coming out, and more people started talking, and people were talking to me. And these were people who had knowledge of a tumultuous, stormy meeting held in the Hamptons during the first week of August, convened, according to multiple sources, with knowledge of this meeting, intimate knowledge of this meeting, by the billionaire ultra-Zionist financier Bill Ackman, who was close to Netanyahu and his kind of network in the United States. Charlie Kirk was
networking.
Along with
the United States.
Young, sort of vapid, very avaricious conservative influencers who seem to be sort of in Israel's back pocket to set a very pro-Israel tone for this meeting. And Charlie Kirk was, according to one source, hammered by Ackman.
I tried to tell y'all.
Allowing Israel critics, very prominent conservative voices like Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, or the anti-Zionist Jewish comedian Dave Smith to appear at his events. And actually, Charlie Kirk was planning to host many of these same figures again in December, and he had just added to his TPUSA major, I think it's called America Fest in December, the premier critic of Israel in Congress. I didn't say Republican critic, I just said premier critic, because that's what she is now, Marjorie Taylor Greene, which really reflected his shifting views. And Ackman, according to multiple sources, had this meeting to basically bully Charlie Kirk into submission. Charlie Kirk walked away, according to one person, feeling like there was an attempt to blackmail him. He refused any offers of funding and also refused the offer to travel to Israel and meet with Netanyahu. And Charlie Kirk, according to a longtime friend of his, who I spoke to, considered Netanyahu a disgusting bully who was a manipulator.
Who is what?
And was fundamentally dishonest. And this stands at complete odds with the picture Netanyahu has tried to paint in not just...
Now, that sounds like Trump, but go ahead. 5
or maybe 6 tweets since Charlie Kirk was killed. And additionally, I mean, I think it's important to recognize what Netanyahu was doing.
Y'all getting a better picture now? So he would be tied to the trafficking. So his name is in the files. Okay? Y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Trump is protecting his interests. Well, I don't know how to say the man's name. Netanyahu. Yeah, his name, he's from Poland. All of it is a fraud. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, sit up. Yeah. All of it is a fraud. And they have I may need to and they have put old Trump in office. That's why he was acting a fool before. And he didn't want to leave because all of this was planned back from then. You understand? It was supposed to go into effect that second term. Okay, hold on. Okay, that one's gone. Let's see this one. Let's do this one.
When you discover that the fella who we are told is the killer was receiving visitors with out-of-state plates in the weeks before the events at the university in Utah, when you look at the not one but 2 decoys that emerged from the crowd in the tumult after the...
The 2 what? Decoys. Yeah, I like this man accent, and this just will not stay up. Hold on. When you
discover that the fella told is the killer was receiving visitors with out-of-state plates in the weeks before the events at the university in Utah.
Oh no.
When you look at the not one but 2 decoys that emerged from the crowd in the tumult after the foul assassination, one of them, Zin, a Zionist Jew, saying, I did it, shoot me. The same man who was convicted.
What do you mean nothing?
For falsely claiming
you can't hear it.
Was going to be bombed in the aftermath of the horrific that took place at the Boston Marathon some years before. The same man,
Boston Marathon,
who says he was an eyewitness.
So he done been on more than one scene of a crime?
Coming under, as it is, increased scrutiny.
Oh, wait a minute,
when you wonder why. In all of Utah, not even 1% of the population is Jewish. Scarcely more will be identifying as Zionists. That of all the gin joints in all the towns in all the world, Mr. Zinn happened to walk into Charlie Kirk's event, and when Kirk was assassinated, claim that he was the assassin and invite people to shoot him. When you consider the questions over the gun, the questions over where the gun was procured, the questions over whether discord did display what the government in the US claims that it displayed, but which Discord denies ever appeared on their platform. When you discover that the bodyguards that were guarding Charlie Kirk were all of them involved in the most bizarre baseball-style hand signals in the literal seconds before the fatal shot was fired. When you consider the implausibility of this runt Robinson having scaled a drainpipe, changed his clothes, picked up a rifle someone had dropped for him that presumably he'd never fired before, and with one single shot, pierced fatally the vital organ in the throat of Charlie Kirk. When you consider the photographs, video of somebody running with a handgun in the crowd, handgun out in the crowd, in the immediate aftermath of the event. When you consider the drone which passed over the murder site within 30 seconds of the fatal shot being fired. When you recognize that Israel had motive, and that Israel had the means, and that Israel had the opportunity, you realize that there's every reason to suspect the hand of Israel in this crime. When you discover that the fella who we are told is the killer was receiving visitors with out-of-state plates in the events at the university in Utah. When you look at the not one but two
out-of-state plates. Y'all hear that? Deflection. Now, how is that old man who they say had child porn pictures in his phone was at the Boston Marathon shooting? Let me hear. Did y'all hear?
Decoys that emerged from the crowd in the tumult after the foul assassination. One of them, Zin, a Zionist Jew, saying, "I did it, I did it.
A Zionist?
Shoot me."
A Zionist Jew
was convicted under the Terrorism Act for falsely claiming that a marathon was going to be bombed in the aftermath of the horrific crime that took place at the Boston Marathon some years before. The same man, Zin, who says he was an eyewitness to the horrific terrorist attack on 9/11, coming under, as it is, increased scrutiny all the time. When you wonder why, in all of Utah, not even 1% of the population is Jewish. Scarcely more will be identifying as Zionists. All the gin joints in all the towns in all the world. Mr. Zinn happened to walk into Charlie Kirk's event, and when Kirk was assassinated, claimed that he was the assassin and invite people to shoot him. When you consider the questions over the gun, the questions over where the gun was procured, the questions over whether Discord did display what the government in the US claims that it displayed, but which Discord denies ever appeared.
Oh, yeah, they saying that wasn't true. What they said that the girlfriend, boyfriend said.
Charlie Kirk, were all of them involved in the most bizarre baseball-style hand signals in the literal seconds before the fatal shot was fired.
The hand signals.
The implausibility of this runt Robinson having scaled a drainpipe, changed his clothes, picked up a rifle someone had dropped for him that presumably he'd never fired before, and with one single shot, pierced fatally the vital organ in the throat of Charlie Kirk. When you consider the photographs, video of somebody running with a handgun in the crowd, handgun out in the crowd, in the immediate aftermath of the event. When you consider the drone which passed over the murder site,
the drone,
30 seconds of the fatal shot being fired. When you recognize that Israel had motive, and that Israel had the means, and that Israel had the opportunity, you realize that there's every reason to suspect the hand of Israel in this crime.
Okay. When you consider. Hold on. Who? What? What? When you consider. That's a lot. And you know, we over here in our own little old world, and we ain't what? What? We ain't what? So Israel ain't Israel? I mean, what are we doing? That ain't his last name? What? So he faking, what? They have a whole, oh wow. Mm. Let me hear him.
It's Tuesday morning. I'm in London, and so is Donald Trump. Last week, when the UK government fired its ambassador to the US, Peter Mandelson, over his ties to Jeffrey Epstein, Trump flew into a rage, I'm told. Why couldn't they have waited until after my trip to do this? Epstein, why always Epstein? This was supposed to be a feel-good trip. The king invited me. Why are they doing this? Now, of course, everything is always in Donald Trump's mind about Donald Trump. But the real question, and the question actually he keeps asking, is why Epstein keeps going on. How come he can't get ahead of this? All other problems dissolve, and there's always Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. In fact, coming to the UK, this is the home of Prince Andrew, also felled by Epstein, and the home of Ghislaine Maxwell, who is in jail because of Jeffrey Epstein.
And he over there.
So here is not the place one might come to escape the biggest story of the second Trump administration. But the larger point, and the answer to the question he keeps asking of why he can't get ahead of this, is that the Epstein story is not about Epstein. The Epstein story persists and persists and persists because it is about Donald Trump. When we say Epstein, we mean Donald Trump, because it is the story that keeps coming back to everything we don't know about Donald Trump and everything we have reason to believe might well be true about Donald Trump. Epstein. Tick-tock, tick-tock. It's Tuesday morning. I'm in London.
Tick-tock,
So is
tick-tock.
Donald Trump.
Tick-tock, tick-tock. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Tick-tock, 2009. Tick-tock, hold on. Tick-tock. TikTok, hold on. Y'all remember when he said the machine? Yeah, and I was talking about the industry.
On your own.
Which ones?
Like the
Religious?
yeah.
As I see it, I just grab it. Man, this shit very demanding. This whole industry, this whole system, all this shit demanding. It's very, all this shit ran off money. All this shit do not mean that, and it's very demanding. This whole music industry is very demanding. As I saw the crosses in the G's piece, I just grabbed it. It really don't mean nothing. And as I say,
It's demonic.
I'm very demonic. Man, there's a lot of devils that's coming in and out my door. So I'm gonna try to God. You see my Jesus piece, you see my crosses. So as I tell you, this shit very demonic, this spirit around here, I'm talking about the shit that's coming in and out my doors, what I'm trying to protect myself from. So as I see the Jesus piece or the crosses, I just grab it.
On your own.
Which ones?
Like the
Religious?
Yeah.
He said it's demonic. Yeah, it's the machine. It's the machine. I saw that. I was like, oh, see, that's that Diddy stuff. But it's demonic. It's demonic. Oh, y'all ain't gonna believe this. Y'all ain't gonna believe this. I need for y'all to see this. I was supposed to make this a thumbnail. I was supposed to make this a thumbnail. Yes, indeed. Y'all see all these people? Do y'all see these boys? The good old boys. Huh? Yeah, you see these good old boys? All of them. 28 right wingers. Or what? Pados, these 28 was just in August. Is this Maga? Huh? 28. These are Trump boys. Pedos. The good old, dirty, nasty, dangling boys. Yeah. But we commit more crimes. See, so they said, well, Trump say you can put your hands in their pants. Oh, yeah. How many of these probably would do any and everything for Trump? All of them souls. Yeah, y'all better pray. You got on a uniform? Officer pedo. Mm-hmm. Hold on. But, oh, yeah. Hold on. Oh, this is just, I was like, Lord, no wonder I can't get no sleep. No wonder I'm having a hard time. I think we just saw this, let's hear this right quick.
What is the best thing about being Donald Trump right now?
Well, other than the fact that I'm married, okay?
Right.
And I'm very happily married. I have a great wife. But if I weren't married, I'd be able to get all of the girls I want, except for possibly Robin.
Do you think you could now be banging 24-year-olds?
Oh, absolutely. I have no trouble.
Would you do it?
I have no problem.
Yeah, do you have an age limit, or would you?
No, I have no age. I mean, I have an age. I don't want to be
the
like
upper bracket
Foley with 12-year-olds.
Can I make a prediction for you?
Yes.
I say you have one more marriage in you.
Oh, no. This ain't the one.
I'm sure Melania will love to.
That ain't the one. It was another one where it was a hot mic. It was a hot mic. Let me see what this one is. I'm trying to get before I go.
So yesterday, as I said, the base looked at Trump and said, what the hell are you doing? Okay. And then Pam Bondi gets up there. She tries to tell us that they don't know if Jeffrey Epstein was working for another country.
I told y'all this one, didn't I?
They don't know if he was working for another
No,
country.
he over in that fake Israel.
We know. All of us know. But he was working for Israel. But Pam Bondi.
Yeah, that's where he
and the
at.
state, they don't know that. But all of us know that. And now the question is, why can't Trump admit that? I want to be clear. Jeffrey Epstein sexually harmed children. Okay? How can you possibly not find the courage to stand up and say the truth about who he was doing that on behalf of?
Yeah.
The same country.
Israel. I can say it. Hold on. And guess who made Israel?
In modern Jewish history. And it begins with 3 words. Dear Lord Rothschild.
Dear Lord Rothschild, I have much pleasure in conveying to you on behalf of...
I played this one. Now, see, now that Rothschild, You hear that quite a bit. Now it's beginning to make sense to me. It's beginning to make sense to me, and this attack on him. Trump's Secret Service. Oh, I played that. Okay, so I'm up now to where I was. So let me go down. Did we see him?
Remember, there was the FBI raid at Mar-a-Lago, and then you had all these court cases and court cases. If they nail him and they stop him running for president, then okay. But I thought, if these court cases go away, then it's the final confirmation, for me anyway, that he's owned by the deep state. Because the deep state is making these things happen. And they went away, one after the other. Then he comes in this time and he's pro-Israel on bloody steroids. He's giving them what they want. He's bombed Iran.
Future attacks would be far greater.
If people think that this guy is someone who's going to save them from the deep state, as they call it, well, he's owned by the deep state. What is Israel, the Mossad networks, the CIA networks?
If you think he's going to save us from him.
People.
If we think he's going to save...
Remember, there was the FBI raid at Mar-a-Lago, and then you had all these court cases and court cases. If they nail him and they stop him running for president, then okay. But I thought, if these court cases go away, then it's the final confirmation, for me anyway, that he's owned by the deep state. Because the deep state is making these things happen. And they went
the deep state. So it's not someone in the U.S., it's the deep state. Okay. And on top of that, it's fake. Hold on. Let's hear this one.
Oh, let me give you the name of one of the billionaires who's running $2 million of ads in my district since I started this effort. His name is John Paulson. He's a hedge fund manager and a major donor to the Republican Party, a major donor to the Speaker of the House, a major donor to the president's campaign.
That is why he's
and he's in
Murdoch.
Epstein's Black Book. Now, that's public, but that's indicative of the types of people who may be implicated or just embarrassed by a complete release of these files.
So we have some more disturbing news coming out of the White House. Pete Hegseth, the head of the Department of War, just fired a Marine recruiter for a social media post in which he posted that Charlie Kirk was a racist. Now, Pete Hegseth has said...
Jewish donors, they have a lot of explaining to do, a lot of decoupling to do.
Decoupling.
Because Jewish donors have been the #1 funding mechanism of radical, open border, neoliberal, quasi-Marxist policies, cultural institutions, and nonprofits. This is a beast created by secular Jews. And now it's coming.
Secular.
Jews, and they're like, what on earth happened? And it's not just the colleges. It's the nonprofits. It's the movies. It's Hollywood. It's all of it. It's like time for you guys to wake up and say no more. Draw a line in the sand. I don't care if you hate me. Jewish donors, they have a lot of explaining to do, a lot of decoupling to do, because Jewish donors have been the #1 funding mechanism.
No, he didn't have freedom of speech with
quasi-Marxist
Iran,
policies,
Israel, I mean.
cultural institutions, and nonprofits. This is a beast created by secular Jews.
There go that beast
and
again.
Now it's coming for Jews, and they're like, what on earth happened? And it's not just the colleges. It's the nonprofits. It's the movies. It's Hollywood. It's all of it. It's like
Music.
time for you guys to wake up and say no more. Draw a line in the sand. I don't care if you hate me.
And then he was trying to get him to come see him. Yeah, hold on. I don't know what that one is. Hold on. Let me see what he said.
I mean, you can't believe how wicked, how low down and rotten. Wait a minute.
Right there. Hey, Mary. It's deceit.
And the American people went to war in 1917. And black people sued to become a part of the war. Because we didn't want to be left out of America. So America signed us up to fight the war. And black men died. But they don't know what the hell they were dying for. And neither did the white ones know what they were dying for. But the man of sin gotta be revealed. And I thank God that he put it in my heart. I don't have no fear of those bastards. I want to expose them all.
Expose them all. Okay. Expose them all. Hold on.
Israel's actually one of the most dangerous countries to do intel with because they steal info all the time. They get caught stealing from us all the time. So this guy named Jonathan Ballard, probably one of the biggest data breaches ever, collects information, gives it to the Russians on behalf of the Jewish people, right? He gets arrested, convicted, etc. Goes to federal prison. He gets a pardon by Donald Trump in 2019, 2020. He gets flown from the United States over to Israel on a private jet owned by Sheldon Adelson, and he's met at the tarmac by who? Benjamin Netanyahu. Wow. So he's greeted like a hero in Israel after committing espionage against the United States. And he's in Israel now, chilling. You got a pardon.
And who's sending him over there?
One of the most dangerous countries to do intel with because they
and
steal
who pardoned him?
They get caught stealing from us all the time. So this guy named Jonathan Ballard, probably one of the biggest data breaches ever, collects information, gives it to the Russians on behalf of the Jewish people, right? He gets arrested, convicted, etc. Goes to federal prison. He gets a pardon by Donald Trump in 2019, 2020. He gets flown from the United States over to Israel on a private jet owned by Sheldon Adelson, and he's met at the tarmac by who? Benjamin Netanyahu. Wow. So he's greeted like a hero in Israel after committing espionage against the United States. And he's in Israel now, chilling. He got a pardon. Israel's actually...
Oh, and that, make no mistake about it. That's that. Y'all couldn't hear? Y'all couldn't hear? Samantha said she couldn't hear. Y'all, which one y'all couldn't hear? Oh yeah, and I believe Epstein is in Israel. Oh, okay. I don't know which one they could hear it, Samantha. Which one you couldn't hear? I am sure that's where he's at. T-Steppers. Are y'all getting? I can hear you just fine. Okay, are y'all getting a clear picture?
Democracy, it is our ally.
Yes, they are.
Explain to me what you see as, why you target or why you have a grudge against the Israelis.
The grudge is not necessarily a grudge. It's an objective assessment that no one will have the courage to speak about. This may be you don't want to hear. I don't know. And I certainly don't want to hurt you on your show. You have one of the best. You're fair. But I believe that Israel has a powerful stranglehold on the American government. They control both members of the House and the Senate. They have us involved in wars of which we have little or no interest. Our children are coming back in body bags. Our nation is bankrupt over these wars. And if you open your mouth, you get targeted. And if they don't beat you at the poll, they'll put you in prison. They're controlling much of our foreign policy. They're influencing much of our domestic policy. Wolfowitz, as Undersecretary of Defense, manipulated President Bush #2 back into Iraq. They pushed definitely to try and get Bush before he left to move into Iran. We're conducting an expansionist policy of Israel, and everybody's afraid to say it. They control much of the media, they control much of the commerce of the country, and they control powerfully both bodies of the Congress. They own the Congress.
Are you an anti-Semite?
No, I'm not. That's exactly what they're going to say. We have a one-sided foreign policy in the Mideast, and we've alienated Arabs who have no way of fighting. So what they've done, and I predicted this on the House floor, is they would export violence to America, and they have. They have no other way to fight. I'm saying this to you right now. Israel gets approximately $15 billion a year from the American taxpayers. That $15 billion is $30,000 for every man, woman, and child. And people in my district are losing their pension benefits.
And he died 4 years later.
It's a democracy. It is our ally.
Yes, they are.
Was Charlie Kirk a distraction from something much bigger?
A lot of you aren't ready to hear this.
This blew my
Everyone's
mind.
missing the point right now. He was assassinated the same day that they voted to release the Epstein files.
Weird,
and
right?
It got rejected, 51 to 49. If it was to have passed, the Justice Department would have been required to release all documents related to the case within 30 days. We could have had the answers we were looking for by October, but there must be something so incriminating in there that they didn't want the Capitol to look like Nepal right now.
Yep.
And some people will say, well, they just need more time to redact the victims' names.
They've had plenty of
Do
time.
you know that the Epstein case has been open for 20 years? It's not a recent thing. The FBI has been working on this for 2 decades. That's plenty long enough to put some black ink on
I think Israel is in there. That Bibi nutty buddy head.
They're all in on it.
This thing is so much bigger than blue and red, Republican versus Democrat.
Yep.
They want us to think that. That's
Yep.
why they killed someone so controversial. Because they knew that it would make us fight amongst ourselves and that we would distract ourselves.
Divide and
They don't have to
conquer
distract
is the
us.
game.
They just have to get us started, and we'll do it for them, right?
Right.
Works every time.
It's
Right.
you versus me. It's not me versus you. We're not enemies. The enemy is the one who's trying to convince us that we are enemies.
Absolutely.
I hear a lot of talk about civil war right now. All right? There's a big difference between a civil war and a revolution. And I just want to say, I don't care what you thought about Charlie Kirk, but his stance on the Second Amendment was that it was in place so that we could protect ourselves and overthrow a tyrannical government.
Which is what we have.
And is that not some common ground that conservatives and liberals alike can have right now?
Was Charlie Kirk a distraction from something much?
Mm-hmm.
You believe that the Jews run the American government. That's not a secret, Charlie. Israel did 9/11, Charlie.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah. This guy right here had him thinking. Cause he repeated everything that this guy. Now y'all notice. Let me take the camera down. The back screen. That same guy who was giving them dang signals. He here.
Was fought not over what everyone thought it was fought of. Every war is fought by, it is funded by the rich, the Rockefellers, all the rich, the Rothschilds. Okay, so let me ask you a question. They funded all those. Was Hitler bad? I think Hitler was bad, yes. Hitler was bad, yes. But did the Holocaust happen? The Holocaust did happen. How many people died? Not 6 million. How many? It was not 6 million. I don't have an exact number, Charlie. I don't have an exact number. It wasn't 6 million. It's not 6 million. You must have an alternative. How do you know it's not 6 million? Because there wasn't even 6 million Jews in Germany. Okay, well, you tell me. You're the expert. The reason why Jews have been run out of 109 countries throughout history is because every time they get into a country, they try and take it over. In Nazi Germany, again, they were having transgender surgeries, underground transgender surgeries. They were promoting homosexuality in schools. And Jewish donors,
There you go. It said 3 weeks later. 3 weeks later.
Jewish donors have been the #1 funding mechanism of radical, open border, neoliberal, quasi-Marxist policies, cultural institutions, and nonprofits. This is a beast created by secular Jews. And it's not just the colleges. It's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it.
Yeah, that's where he got it from. He got it from that guy.
I don't care if you hate me. You believe that the Jews run.
Mm-hmm. He started asking questions. Deep ones. You understand? Y'all understand? Yeah. It's like, how could he be this deeply involved and he say he a Christian? But,
Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two...
Hold on. Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We're commanded to support Israel. And what
does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But hold on, define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel. Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked like 49 questions about.
So that's what Genesis, that's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
And so is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yeah, nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
They're the
God's
descendants of
referring
Abraham.
to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right now?
Yes.
It is.
And I'm really happy he said that, because when you hear it, you realize how ridiculous it sounds. Even if you're not following the theology, if you don't identify as a
Billions.
Christian, you
Yeah, I know
realize
that.
you have a senator that is sitting across saying that his number
Got him out of
one
debt.
reason, he didn't say one of the reasons, he said my number one reason that I support Israel is because the Bible commands me to do so. And just so you know, the Bible does not command, and this is what Tucker Carlson is getting to in that clip, it absolutely does not command you to support the modern state of Israel. Like Genesis is pointing to the modern 1848 created state of Israel, and you must support it, despite the fact that it is very much involved in what can only be described as demonic behavior since its creation, right? And so you're going to ignore every other biblical passage. You're going to misinterpret this one. It's a dispensationalist heresy. Dispensationalist heresy, which was factually funded by the World Zionist Congress. We can do another episode on that as I present to you guys all of the evidence that what it guided the notations. This
They are
stems from the
intentionally
Schofield Bible, the heresy of the Schofield Bible. Schofield himself was an absolute fraud who got funded and was overseas and alleges that he wrote all of these notes in the Bible and is telling people how to read their Bibles. The first time that notations were put underneath the passages. So this is what Genesis says, and this is what it means. And this is how this heresy arrived in America. Then somehow this guy is able to, it becomes the most printed book, and Oxford Press gets behind it because like a random pastor. You get the idea here. It was very much a funded effort to have Christians misunderstand the Bible. And Ted Cruz is one of these Christians.
Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two,
hold on.
Not the same.
Hold on, you're a senator. And
It was created in 19 what? They stole it and took over it when? Yeah. Yeah.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey?
Yeah.
Epstein?
Yeah.
This guy's been talked about for years.
So getting anywhere near
We have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about
figuring this out.
Yeah, we are.
That is unbelievable.
You should believe it.
You want to waste the time and you feel like answering?
I
don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein.
Believe it. I'm not laughing. You're laughing. First and foremost, what even is that Trump filibuster? Are you guys still interested? Are you guys still interested in that? Wow, I'm shocked because we are doing both amazing things in Texas. There are devastating and what is most compelling to me, by the way, about the Trump filibuster is that it requires us to be so gaslit that we completely forget that nobody made more of a show of the Jeffrey Epstein files and the release of those files than the person sitting to the right of him, Pam Bondi. That's why we're here. Pam Bondi was the one who
Not a corrupt government.
handed out binders.
You're so right,
to a bunch of online
Elizabeth.
influencers on February 27th. Okay, that was supposed to be apparently phase one. Emily Austin. Nobody really knows who Emily Austin is, other than the fact that she's a radical Zionist that is currently being shoved down our mouths. They're like, you will take her, and they're desperately trying to make this girl happen. And somehow, at the beginning of her career, she gets invited to the White House and is handed an Epstein binder.
Cute.
I saw y'all on the internet coming for Cash Patel saying he's day 5 and we haven't gotten the Epstein files. Well, I'm here outside the West Wing and look.
So she just popped up.
The Epstein files, baby. Let's make America safe again.
Strangely, not a single individual there had been critical of Israel in any way. But somehow this young woman, Emily Austin, who virtually no one had heard of, was there. And I want to be clear, when I say like the level of Zionist that this girl is, and they are trying to make like fetch happen, she knows nothing, and they just keep putting her in front of a camera.
He keeps saying that Iran's not a threat to America. So since Scott decided to become Iran's mouthpiece, can you please clarify for me what Khomeini means When he says death to
Oh my.
America, death to the West, and forceful conversions, can you
Bless you
translate in the
too.
language that you so clearly understand that all of us are missing? Thank you.
Sure. Yeah. So, first of all, Khomeini died in 1989. You don't know what you're talking about. Second of all, the chant, you'll notice all of
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Zionist is someone who believes that Israel has a right to exist.
So you're a Zionist?
Are you not?
No.
Why not?
I want to be a Zionist.
Thanks.
All right.
Did he
What's my mom calling me, bro?
did he just oh hold on. Like this.
You see, for me, America is Israel, and Israel is America. Israel is the 51st state of America. Mossad is the CIA. The CIA is the Mossad. If you don't believe the extent to which these two countries have merged, then take a look at that wailing.
Y'all hear that?
From this afternoon.
These two countries have merged.
Supposedly in Israel to read the riot act about the attack on Qatar, about which more in a minute. Huckabee, Rubio, and Netanyahu, all of them kippered up.
Netanyahu.
That wall again, the abasement of the United States political class to the iconography of Israel, the never-ending subvention of money and material between the United States and Israel has effectively erased any difference that there is in these two states. You see, for me, America is Israel, and Israel is America. Israel is the 51st state of America.
Mm-hmm. Y'all see where they going with this? When facts come out, but their actions have has almost forced to stop overlooking and taking things for granted, and just like, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on? Because they doing stuff up under us, in front of us, and they just allowing it to happen. How is that possible?
You have to listen to this exchange between Tucker and Sacr because they expose the exact purpose why the Trump administration has to cover up the Epstein files.
The whole thing that this tape shows he didn't kill himself is like a joke. But worse than that, it's a joke that we all get. Like, they're not fooling anybody. So I feel like we're at a dangerous point.
Listen with your good ear.
The lie is more it's not, the lie at this point is not even part of trying to convince any of this is true.
Yes.
The lie is a signal to everybody else involved in the scheme that to the ultimate ends, the United States government will go to protect all of you.
Yes.
And that's the question. For
Man,
what
is that smart.
purpose?
Can you say that again? Okay,
Yes.
so
Yep.
I'm sorry, it's a signal.
The lie
To everybody
is not for you
in
and
the
me.
file.
The lie is for those implicated to say, no matter what, we will protect you. And then we have to start asking the question, why? As in, what is the purpose of this entire thing? Why does it matter that it happens right before the Israeli prime minister comes to Washington for the third time?
Ooh, a lot of noticing going on in that last part. And the timing of that, definitely not a coincidence. I mean, it's basically undeniable at this point that this story is about intelligence. Specifically Epstein's ties to a certain foreign intelligence. And that's why we have to keep asking about Epstein, because our national sovereignty is literally at stake here.
Mm-hmm.
You have to listen to this exchange
It
between
is,
Tucker and Sacr,
though,
because they
the lie is not for Trump.
why the Trump
It's
administration
for the
has to
people
cover up
that's
the Epstein
in
files.
there that I'ma hold it down. And this is also why Trump is not planning on leaving. Because as soon as he leaves, right? As soon as his time is up, you already know. So he's not planning on leaving.
For me personally, I didn't care about Charlie Kirk yesterday, the day before, and I
Oh.
don't care about him now.
Yeah.
I'm born and I don't celebrate. That's strategic indifference.
Yeah, we done had enough of that. Let me see. I'm trying to get. Let me see what this one is.
Yeah, President Trump's name was actually in the Epstein files going back.
Yeah, cause so he knew his name was in there.
February.
By the way, I never went to the island. I never had the privilege of going to his island. And I did turn it down, but a lot of people in Palm Beach were invited to his island.
How do you know that?
In one of my very good moments, I turned it down.
In your good moments.
You know, Epstein, he got arrested for children diddling and fiddling, child abuse. The woman who he was with, who would, kind of wrangle the girls and get the girls to come together, she's in jail for the rest of her life.
No, she ain't.
And now he had a plane where he would ferry them out to some island and have a ball with children.
Yeah, President Trump's name was actually in the Epstein files going back to February.
By the way, I never went to the island. I never.
Yeah, so, he wasn't gonna, his cover was blown, and when he wouldn't let, Bibi smooth him over. Yeah, he not planning on leaving that office. Did I watch this?
These white working class voters, we told you so. We told you that Trump was going to be a terrible candidate. We told you that you were an idiot if you voted for him.
Talk to the Trump supporters for a minute.
Now, I wonder how did this change?
These white working class voters, we told you so. We told you that Trump was going to be a terrible candidate. We told you that you were an idiot if you voted for him.
Talk to the Trump supporters for a minute.
I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you like this guy. He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. He doesn't represent my party. He doesn't represent the values that the men and women who wear the uniform.
What made these people
He's playing the members of
change?
the American public for suckers. He gets a free ride to the White House, and all we get is a lousy hat.
President Trump has surrounded himself with the political elite who've spent like drunken sailors. They've raided Social Security, and they continue to waste taxpayer dollars. Everybody talks about the economy when Trump was president. He put us $8 trillion in debt in just 4 years.
Donald Trump is a con artist. Has portrayed himself now consistently as fighting for the working people, and he has a record of sticking it to working people for 35 years.
What I really think of Donald Trump. This man is a pathological liar. His response is to accuse everybody else of lying. Whatever he does, he accuses.
So it ain't like they don't know the truth, y'all.
Everything in Donald's world is about Donald. These white working class voters.
It ain't like these people don't know the truth.
Terrible candidate. We told you that you were an idiot if you voted for him.
Talk to the Trump supporters for a minute. I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you like this guy. He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. He doesn't represent my party. He doesn't represent the values that the men and women who
Talking about playing in our
He's playing the members of the
face.
American public for suckers. He gets a free ride to the White House, and all we get is a lousy hat.
President Trump has surrounded himself with the political elite who've spent like drunken sailors. They've raided Social Security, and they continue to waste taxpayer dollars. Everybody talks about the economy when Trump was president. He put us $8 trillion in debt in just 4 years.
Donald Trump is a con artist. Has portrayed himself now consistently as fighting for the working people, and he has a record of sticking it to working people for 35 years.
What I really think of Donald Trump.
It ain't like they don't know y'all, right? Absolutely. So it's not like they don't know the truth.
The person nearest to Trump is his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Netanyahu was sleeping in Kushner's bed in the family home. Netanyahu's very, very close friend of Kushner's father, Charles Kushner, a real estate mogul who was jailed for illegal campaign contributions, tax evasion, and witness tampering. Jared has funded illegal...
A whole bunch of con artists. This is how he could be a convicted felon in the White House, y'all.
...to George Soros, Trump. From day one, he handed the American economy to Steven Mnuchin as his Treasury Secretary, also an ultra-Zionist. He named his own lawyer, the extreme Zionist David Friedman. Jason Greenblatt, he became U.S. Special Representative for International Negotiations, which include negotiations between Israel and the Palestinians. The Israeli regime is planning to push ahead because they own the President of the United States. This is the reality that we're facing.
The person nearest to Trump is his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Netanyahu was sleeping in Kushner's bed in the family home. Netanyahu is very, very close friend of Kushner's father, Charles Kushner, a real estate
Close
mogul
friends.
who was jailed for illegal campaign contributions, tax evasion, and witness tampering. Jared has funded illegal settlements in Israel. A funder of AIPAC. He's got big business connections to George Soros, Trump. From day one, he handed the American economy to Stephen Mnuchin as his Treasury Secretary, also an ultra-Zionist. He named his own lawyer, the extreme Zionist David Friedman. Jason Greenblatt, he became U.S. Special Representative for International Negotiations, which include negotiations between Israel and the Palestinians. The Israeli regime is planning to push ahead because they own the President of the United States. This is the reality.
Wow.
The person nearest to Trump is his son.
Woo! He owns the president of the United States. Now, I thought it was about the 50 billion that damn. Ain't that was Trump on team? He's a traitor. He's an enemy of the state. So why he can be in the White House and a convicted felon? Y'all, how? Please remember a revival. Thank you, Jesus. No one else. Jesus, please say. Yeah. Who? Anybody ask me about?
But with a bitch like me, I'm not going to shut my mouth, and I'm not going to be intimidated. As an American who's protected by the First Amendment, who is tasked with doing a job that requires me to dig in, not get.
Now we think that we are protected, but you know,
like a little bitch, right? I'm the kind of bitch that likes to dig in, and I'm not going to be intimidated by someone who has far more concern with a foreign country as opposed to our country here in America. I'm an American. I'm going to look out for America. Israel controls the United States, and I meant it. How are you going to argue otherwise? Okay, almost every single lawmaker on the left or right does the bidding of the Israeli government, either because they are legally bribed by AIPAC, or they're afraid that AIPAC is going to target them in some political campaign so they don't win re-election. I believe there's also a possibility of a blackmail operation. But yeah, I mean, we do anything and everything Israel wants. Why are the United States taxpayers tasked with paying for the bombs and the military of a foreign government when that foreign government had an economic surplus in 2021? The United States hasn't had an economic surplus since 2001. So yeah, our government is controlled by Israel. And I do not apologize for saying that. But with a bitch like me...
Yeah, they done got tired of the Justin. They tired. You think they tired? Yeah, he don't went too far, y'all. Okay. I'm like, okay, now I got it. I get it. But what was the most revealing to me is that what's his name? Bibi, he fake, he fraud. He fake, he fraud. He done took over Lord, we need a healing. And yes, they are trying to create a divide. He wants us to fight amongst each other. And this look straight over Israel. The fake Israel. That was built in what year they say? 1940. What? 1940? What? So it ain't the one in the Bible. 1948. 1948. So now so we're gonna be destitute. And let me tell you, by the time Trump leaves office, if he stays the full term, the U.S. will be bankrupt because they would have stole all the money. They would have filtered all the money. Yep. We won't have no jobs. They hopefully they thinking we would have given them enough shots, poison food. You know, I'm sure the people when they was acting like they was getting those shots, they shots wasn't nothing but saline. Wasn't nothing but saline. That cocktail was not in it. They put that. That's what they're saying. That the second part of it. I think they said in about 10 years. Within 10 years, the second part will have activated. Lord. So they have some natural remedies to detox that vaccine. Let me see if I can pull it up right quick. Yeah, Yep. You're right. Now, I believe that. That's why we have to how long does the let me see how hold on, I saw it. Hold on, how to naturally. No, I don't see it. Can you detox adjustment? And see, they don't like giving you I have to figure out where I put it. I saved it somewhere. Yeah, but yeah, I got a whole bunch of stuff I'm finna order to detox, get up the all of that. I just don't even want to think about. Salute again to everyone. Okay, y'all, I'm finna get ready to go. Yeah, we gotta be mindful, gotta be careful. And we just gotta stay woke. We gotta do our own research. Yeah. It's a lot going on. I think, old boy got, again, I'm going to say, there's just no way as a Christian, one, that you couldn't see that Donald Trump ways is not of God. But then when, good night, yeah, when you start questioning him, challenging him, you got to go. You got to go. But I think they said that it was that Bibi that got on some plane, some jet, I don't know. But I know that guy ain't talking. And they said that the letter wasn't true. My pastor just talked about so much going on and the end is near. Yeah, this is the first time, really. Yeah, I've heard it. You know, there's a sign of the time. Yeah, but I be looking for it to be like, I don't know. But this is the first time I'm seeing a real genuine sign to me of the we wrestle not against flesh and blood, the principalities in high places. Yeah, I see that here. I see the evil. I mean, you so bold, you're not going to even fake it. 1 John, yep. Yeah. So, yeah, I see it now. And now I'm seeing a plot, Ephesians, yep. Ephesians 6:10-22. Let me see. I know it's in Ephesians. Put on your full armor. Yeah, that's why I kept saying I don't see God. I don't see, where's God? Where is God? I don't see it. I was serious in a heart attack, wasn't I? I don't see it. I do not see it. Yeah, Yep, put on your whole armor so that you can take your stance against evil schemes. Put it on every day. Absolutely. You out, please don't forget to smash the like button. Yeah. Okay, y'all, let me go. See what else is going on. Thank y'all. I was trying to catch up since I didn't come back last night. I was out. I was OUT out. Godly fruits or demonic fruit. Or you can judge a tree by its fruit. When ain't none of us perfect, but be not deceived. My sheep know my voice. I was listening. I don't care what you say. That is not God. I don't care what you say. No, sir. No, sir. So, you know, it's yeah, that's what we're up against. And they are not who they say they are. Ain't that the devil? A deceiver? He disguises himself? Oh, no. Who are they? Did he have up a mug shot? Didn't he have up a jail card number? Huh? So where he get his money from? And no other. Yeah, come on now. It's just a lot. But now I understand how he is allowed to be a convicted felon. So Israel appointed him in office. I had one of them. It was talking about, he was saying, you owe me. You owe me. You owe me. I was like, wow. Okay. I gotta go, y'all. What time is it? It's 8. It's 9 o'clock. Okay, I gotta go. I don't like goodbye. See you later. It's what's in my heart, but See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. How's that? Have a good night.